Yes, hello. I am James Rhodes. Today it's the WNR610. It is the SummerSlam live party. I mean, the very, very famous, historic. I should have really written something down for it, but I haven't. Anyway, I'm not alone. It's a pleasure to be joined by the entire WNR team. Up first by my side for every WWE and AEW show. It is a fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How's it going, Jax?
Hello, yeah, all going well. Keen to see how things are getting on. We've got a big weekend ahead of us. Keen to get into discussion about that. I say keen because that's the best word I can use at this point when it comes to WWE content.
Yeah. And as it's a party, I guess you did bring the alcohol. You were in charge of that.
Oh yeah, I'm already on that. I've got the rum, I've got the Diet Coke. They had no Coke Zero. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I've got the whole Captain Morgan start rum. Let's go. We're
Good,
already getting
good. Well, yeah,
started.
I've got nibbles, but I guess we'll come to that. Jaxie, quickly, I don't want to spend a lot of time with it, but again, your winning streak, you won Great American Bash with me, I
Mhm.
should say. But again, I don't know how you're doing it. It's really annoying.
Well, you know what? My luck has turned around. I had a really bad start. When I say start, I had a really bad year last year when it came to predictions. So it's about time that I started picking up some wins and racking them up.
Yeah. And the other thing as well, I just noticed today, 610th episode of the WNR. Your very
Mm.
first episode was 300 episodes ago. So 310. So you've got 300 episodes
Whoa.
under your belt now.
Look, seriously, like now I'm even making, history here. So watch out, Seth Rollins.
Yeah. You're well old, isn't it? Like, well.
Thanks, James.
Anyway, up next, our resident NXT expert and New Japan demigod, ex-House of Torture member, AEW Toxic Stanhausen, and in all intents and purposes, the last real good guy. It is Monty. How's it going, man?
I love it. I love it. I'm back. I'm back. Here we are, another party. I don't know why she brought, like Coke and stuff. Like we drank it straight out the bottle, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, no, I'm excited to be back. Another year of SummerSlam. When you said we on episode 16, I just thought about how much talking you've done over the years, James. You probably should try to shut up.
Yeah, no, I really should. I really should. But I don't know. I get you're in charge of the barbecue as well here. I hope you don't mind the part. I hope it's not too, I don't
Okay.
want to be that guy, but I can't cook and, do we really want those two touching the food?
All right. I love smoking, so I can smoke meat and other things.
Yeah. Right there. And last but by no means least, well, Monty did call you an angel on the last show, Gina. So this is kind of my song to you. Forget about Monty. Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. You're closer than my peeps. You are to me, baby. Surely you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Gina, you're my friend when I'm in need.
Ugh, Jesus.
Gina. Life is one big party when you're still young, but who's gonna have your back when it's all done? Who's gonna win you a little fun? Actually, I better not because I don't want to be putting on an accent and get kind of cancelled after 610. But it's Gina. Gina, you are my angel. All right, you really are.
I'm chuckling the whole time to that. But thank you. I'd love to be your angel, James, and I love to be everybody's angel. Your angel is gracing this podcast today. Looking forward to some SummerSlam talk. And yeah, I'll try and be positive about WWE, I promise.
Yeah. Do you want sausage roll or anything like that? Or are you okay? Do you want anything
No,
on the
I do
plate?
like hot dogs, so I've put in a hot dog request. I've also brought some pre-seasoned jerk chicken for the barbecue, so we're going with that.
We'll be fine then. Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you aboard. Everybody's here. It is the party. We've got 5 Raws and 5 SmackDowns to catch up on. And of course, we will end on predictions. But when we last left WWE, Obafemi became king, Io Sky became queen, and Sami Zayn was WWE champion. Let's get to it then. Raw June 29th, Brock Lesnar made a shocking appearance and starts off interrupting Obafemi. He cut a promo about not being much for a promo guy and then called the King of the Ring out for calling him names behind his back. Talk shit, get hit, he said, for dropping Obafemi with a low blow and an F5. The new King recovered quickly, called his rival a bitch, and issued a challenge for one last match at SummerSlam. Lesnar accepted with one stipulation. Hell in a Cell. We then saw Raw General Manager Adam Pearce catching up with Oba, who said there will be championship opportunities in the future, and when he wants one, he will take it. For now, he's sure he wants
Boo.
Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. Jaxie, what were your thoughts on this?
Um, I mean, yes, I'm excited. This is actually two Goliaths just being locked in a cell together. So God knows what they're going to do to each other this time around, especially with like the build up. I think the build up has actually built the animosity between them even more so. So even though this is their third bout, I'm still kind of looking forward to this match. The reason I say that is because I have the absolute faith that our King Obafemi is going to come out of this on top and absolutely brutalize Brock. Well, that's what I'm hoping. Anyway, this is the way that they've been building it up. It's actually been really good on either side. So yeah, this for me, I was just very much like, okay, well, now you've made it even more interesting for their third bout. You know, we always knew there was going to be a third match between them. And what I'm hoping could be like the beginning of the start, more to say, with what could be a good winning streak for Oba Femi coming out of the King of the Ring tournament as the winner, you know?
But did you buy that as an excuse for him to say there will be more opportunities? Because not many people get. Look at Sami Zayn. He had to wait how long for an opportunity?
But yeah, but he won King of the Ring, so surely he can like ask for that opportunity when he's ready. But I think, you know, like in terms of like story and like overcoming like someone like Brock, would you not want to take him out first so that you don't have this looming over you when you're going into a title match where he could be a bitch and sour and like ruin it for you? I mean, personally, for me, I would totally want to focus on like finishing off whatever feud this is that he's got going with Brock before actually focusing on the main title. That is the smarter way to go about it, in my opinion. Because otherwise, Brock will just get himself involved in that match and cost him the title. Or that's how I would see things would go if Oba went straight into SummerSlam for a title shot.
Yeah, excellent. I completely agree. I can't believe I just said that to you as well. Rey Mysterio beat All Ego. New World Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, joined Joe Hendry in the ring for a special celebratory concert that turned into a promo that sets up a match, which was Joe Hendry beating Theory. Io Sky hit the ring wearing the crown. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez surrounded Sky, and despite valiant effort by the babyface, the numbers game proved too much. Morgan downed Sky and trapped her in the half Boston Crab, forcing her to tap out until referees and producers made the save. Jimmy Uso beat LA Knight after the match, though Sokoa appeared and delivered a smoking spike to Jimmy, and Knight dropped Jay with blunt force trauma. Nick Aldis is also on leave with Adam Pearce, becoming SmackDown general manager. Rodriguez defeated Dupree to earn a title shot at Seoul. Gable beat JD. Dom stole a Knicks jersey for Danhausen, and then Roman Reigns made his way to the ring, flanked by Jacob Fatu. Before he could say anything, we heard "Burn It Down," and Sith Frickin' Rollins made his way to the ring, noting that a win over him is the only thing missing from Reigns' Hall of Fame resume, and it's time running out for them to have that iconic main event. Rollins pitched the former Shield teammate in a world title match at SummerSlam. I need to beat you, Reigns said, for accepting to close out the promo segment. SummerSlam, we close the door on the Shield. The OTC was overheard saying as the show came to an end. Monty, I'm sure this is going to be the last time they ever going to reference the Shield. But with Over not taking his opportunity, someone needs to step up, and it was and it was Seth.
Yep. I still think it was stupid, even though I do understand the logic. I'm just not a fan of making the King of Ring a stipulation thing, and then being of like, oh, you get a world title shot, and then like you said, we got so many people walking around talking about how they haven't an opportunity for years. Now, don't get me wrong, Obafemi is Obafemi. He gonna get that opportunity. I think it only works maybe for Obafemi because we all know that he can get whatever he wants whenever he wants because he's unstoppable. But at the same time, when you got an opportunity, I'm like, just take the opportunity. It just felt like WWE was like they finally felt like they had the guts to give him the King of the Ring, but then they was like, but we don't have the guts to put him against Roman Reigns this soon. And I'm just like, that's stupid to me. I just feel like he should be immediately just go up the ladder. That's what they did with Brock. They didn't waste no time. He went straight on. He fought The Rock at SummerSlam, and he was crowned. But they didn't do that for Obafemi. Even though I'm not saying I don't want them to fight in the Hill. I don't understand that this is the conclusion of a storyline that we should get. So I get it, and I'm not mad at it. But yeah, But as far as Seth Rollins and Roman goes, I mean, we've been down this road, like you said before, plenty of times. We know it's gonna be constant Shield references. I don't know if you guys knew or remember or not, but they were in a faction, and Seth turned on him and like, oh, he hit him in the back with a chair,
With a
and I swear the
chair.
No,
biggest
no.
like I know, like I
Stop. We
can't
had
believe.
no idea.
And did you guys realize that Roman Reigns, when he sees a black steel chair, he just gets flashbacks and he's traumatized by it? You know, it just again, we've
Some
all
people
been down
got
this road
PTSD.
before. Yeah,
My God.
exactly. Like, oh,
Can
I
you
can't believe
imagine
it.
the amount of people that probably have PTSD of the bloodline?
Exactly, exactly. How many people have PTSD of black hoodies? I know Drew McIntyre probably still hate people who come up with black hoodies after what happened, in Wales. But anyway, again, my point is that we've been down this road before. We know how this goes, and at the end of the day, we'll talk about it as this storyline, develops on these show episodes we're going to break down. But we all know what this is all about. Roman has still yet, and even though I've seen some people breaking this up, Roman has beaten Seth. He just the tribal chief version of him just have not beaten Seth. But Big Dog Roman has pinned Seth, and then that also kind of made me feel like, oh, okay, so they're just being slick. They're being very slick right now with how they're doing this. But again, we all kind of, if you know their history, WWE would love to try to make this one of the biggest match. They feel like this is one of the biggest matches that they can possibly make. This version of Roman versus Seth Rollins, and I think I'm not saying I disagree because I get it. Like we mentioned before, Seth might not have much time to keep doing this with Roman at this level too. So you might as well get it while you can.
Yeah, without a doubt. On to SmackDown July 3rd. New champion Sami Zayn started the show. We didn't actually mention last time he is a Grand Slam champion now, so well done, Sami Zayn. You're the same as The Miz. He basked in his glory until Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso both showed up to stake their claim at a title shot. Zayn seemed uninterested in facing either. Unfortunately for him, Adam Pearce had other plans. He booked Uso versus Rhodes, with the winner earning a title shot on Raw. And in the main event, Jay did come up short. Rhodes and Zayn would officially fight the title on Raw the following week. Gina, was that the right call? Because again, Jey Uso came close for the King of the Ring, but looks like Cody's going to get shot. But it is on Raw against Sammy.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not shocked. They have the same players at the top, so no, not really. I kind of figured this would happen. Not that I was itching for Jade to be in that spot either, but it's just like, okay, yeah, Cody's probably going to win this. That was my thought when the match first started.
Are you surprised as well? Because Jay and Cody obviously get on because we've seen them like backstage, but how terrible they seem in the ring together. Like, I mean, I don't want to throw any shade at that, but they don't kind of click, you know?
I was going to say, you would think that there would be more chemistry between them in the ring. They have great chemistry when they're, drunk celebrating the tag team titles together. Off street, off of that, and doing post interviews with it. They have great chemistry, but it does seem a bit flat when they were in the main event in that event together. You would have just thought that they would have more bounced off of each other, maybe played more into the fact that they had a friendship before this, and now that title's come between them, or the title shots come between them. But yeah, it didn't really like click. I don't know if it's just the way that WWE's like quick bash out a quick 12-minute like match or something, and they just didn't have much time to work with, or they just really couldn't be bothered to put in the effort. It's
Yeah.
sod slow, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't really expect Jay to come out with that with the win. I kind of expected Cody because they like the favorites at the top.
Without a doubt. Well, elsewhere, six women's tag match started the action as Green Flair and Stratton formed an uneasy alliance to take on Cargill, Beefab, and Meechin. The Hills ended up victorious thanks to Cargill pinning Green with Jaded. The AAA Cruiserweight Championship Phoenix defeated Vikingo. Blake Monroe attacked Julia and Kiani James backstage. Lani Reed beat Brie Bella, and Tama and Talatonga attacked Finn Balor backstage. I am glad SmackDown is 2 hours again. On July 5th, we got news. Sheamus is leaving WWE. He posted on X, obviously, his catchphrase banger after banger, as well as a line written in Irish, which translates to goodbye, my WWE friends. It seems Sheamus turned down a restructured extension with WWE, and of course accomplished nearly everything possible in his WWE run: Royal Rumbles, King of the Rings, Money in the Bank, just that elusive Intercontinental Championship. Apparently he's free from October 1st. But Jaxie, we kind of touched on it on the last show with WWE, but Sheamus going just doesn't seem real at the moment. Do you know what I mean? But again, we have lost people like that in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that this news came as a shock, but I think that like for me, it was more like the case of like that it's taken this long to like see that he's actually left now, especially because they've not been using him, like he's not been utilized at all. So for me, it felt like I didn't really feel like he was going to be looked to openly re-sign unless they're offering a ridiculous amount of money, which I doubt they would do considering all the cuts they've done, you know? So I think I'm more shocked at how long it's taken for this to kind of come about, for Sheamus to kind of be a free agent and potentially see him on other shows or not. But I just wish him like all the best, and I hope all the best for his career as well. He's a talented wrestler, and he wasn't utilized towards the end of his tenure in WWE at all. So, I hope this is not the end for him.
Yeah, and again, Monty, I think not to say anything about Sheamus, but you've been dreaming of him being in the G1, and maybe, like I said, next year that could happen. I think that's a better option than him maybe going to AEW, you know?
Yeah, I think he just fits the style and roster of New Japan. Like I could just him and Goto and just others, and hell, even if he was to go to AEW, I wouldn't be as opposed to it. But like it's always my worry as the more WWE is kind of lost or let certain veterans go is that they all go to AEW and then they end up not necessarily being utilized all the time there. You know what I mean? So it's tough. You can't sign everybody. So it'd be nice to see him, go elsewhere if he wants to continue. But I think like you mentioned, he was underutilized towards the end, and I just think it's just a shame, because I feel like he still has so much that he can give. He was still every time they used him, he was still like even the last program I remember him having with Rusev was very entertaining stuff, great wrestling, and that's what he's been able to give. And that's the reason why I think he can work so well in a Japan setting because his in-ring work above any storyline, whether it was the stuff with Pete Dunne or the stuff with Ludwig, like the last 3 or 4 angles that he was given before he went away with injury, he was just killing it every week and giving them great matches on Raw and SmackDown, which is basically stuff that we don't necessarily get all the time anymore now when it comes to WWE. So it's just a damn shame if you ask me. But much like the New Day and much like, others like Motor City Machine Guns and stuff like that, I know as a vet in this business, he'll land on his feet and have plenty of opportunities elsewhere. It's just all about where now.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, July 6th, Raw. We're in Chicago. This will be important later. Cody greeted Sami Zayn only to be attacked by Gunter. Ring General called Zayn a fluke and attacked Cody a little bit more. Seth Rollins was next. He got CM Punk chance. That would be important later. He said that this is not his business, but Roman is. Roman is the chosen one. Yes, we've already heard that. LA Knight then hit the ring from there, interrupting the visionary to a big pop. He took exception to last week's promo between Rollins and Reigns, calling the same old trash, brother. Yeah. And then Rollins entered the long promo segment by extending a title opportunity to him after he beats Reigns at SummerSlam. From there, Jimmy Uso flattened Knight with a super kick. World Tag Team Championship, Street Profits versus Bron Breakker and Austin Theory. Maxine Dupree entered the ring, delivered a low blow to Dawkins, and Theory covered for the win. After the match, Dupree leapt in the arms for a apparent view. There was a couple of things here. The Profits run was nothing. I guess Bron is a tag wrestler now. And Gina, Maxine Dupree is a bitch. I was right about last time round, you know?
Oh God, like I don't really know what to say about this, if I'm being truly honest. Like, I don't know. Everyone might feel differently about this. Others might really like this for Maxine. It's not working for me. It feels like another sort of live repeat in trying to get, her with Dominic and that sort of thing. I think the issue is I follow Maxine on Instagram and I know that she's with someone else And it's the same with Liv and Dom, but because it's been going for so long, it's kind of like you run with the gag. But with this, with Austin Theory, I just don't believe it because I know Maxine is with someone else. So it's just, I don't know, it's more cringe for me. I was more cringed out by it all than I was shocked. We saw hints of Maxine being with the Vision like a couple of weeks or months back. There were little hints of the Vision in the background, and you would see a blonde, a mysterious blonde, and it definitely looked like Maxine. So they were setting the seeds, of that revelation coming to light. I get that they're trying to maybe do something different with the Vision, different with Maxine. For me, it was just cringe when I was. I can't take. I'm sorry, but it was a bit cringy. We'll see where they run with it, but again, for me, I really did feel a big like comparison to like the Liv Morgan storyline when she inserted herself with Dominic Mysterio. So let's see how the weeks pan out and see if it feels like it takes a different turn or whether it does feel like a regurgitated storyline here. We'll have to see.
Well, it looked like Heyman was done with the Vision if they didn't win, but he did have to worry about Obafemi after back and forth. The ruler called Heyman scared, vowed to beat the Beast Incarnate inside NSL and end this chapter. Women's Intercontinental Championship, Sol Ruka versus Raquel Rodriguez. Io Sky appeared, wiped out the heels at ringside, and Ruka delivered a soul snatcher to defeat Rodriguez and retain her championship. Paige and Rusev defeated Gable and Lee. And then backstage, the trainer refused to clear Cody Rhodes for Monday's main event. Adam Pearce informed Sami Zayn that even though Cody Rhodes is unable to compete, he was still going to defend his championship. Who would it be? Well, CM Punk returned from nearly 3 months away, brought right back into the main event of WWE Raw and defeated Sami Zayn to win the undisputed WWE Championship in front of his family and friends in Chicago. Jaxie, what did you think of this?
I mean, I should have saw this coming when I realized where they were, Um, I was laughing, right? But realistically, I kind of feel sorry for Sammy. Like, and I was mad at Sammy before, but like, really? Like, I don't know. I just feel like this might have been a bit of poor taste.
Well,
If I'm being honest.
9 days Sammy held that title for.
Well, like by the time he finally got there, I was like, okay, at least let him have a run. Like, I thought this was like quite cruel, if I'm honest. I don't really know what creative were thinking and having this quick changeover and having him be this transitional champion. But I didn't think it was like I didn't think that situation was funny. I thought it was hilarious the moment that the show started and we all knew, okay, Cody's not going to be cleared, watch. And I even said this to G, but I was like, it's going to be CM Punk in it because look where they are. And then all of a sudden, what happens? I was laughing, to be honest, in terms of the match itself, because like I kind of called this at the very beginning of the night. But I can't help but like express like how cruel I think this has been on Sammy. And rightly so. I think that he's a little bit like vindicated in some of the things that he's been like talking about,
Yeah, I think without a doubt, I felt sorry for Sammy. But again, I think for the whole presentation of the night, even that shutter coming up with Punk under, behind it. How long he was waiting there, who knows? And I'm sure it's the same shutter that was open in Chicago when Drew McIntyre beat the crap out of him. But again, but still, I just thought this was excellent. Like I said, everything was on point. This might be the best Raw on Netflix match for me, anyway. July 10th, SmackDown. Nick Aldis started the show. He takes full responsibility, and he has been reinstated. He welcomes CM Punk to the ring. Punk named some people like Gunter, Finn Balor, Royce Keys, Damien Priest, and Trick Williams before he was interrupted by Cody Rhodes, who was obviously upset about what happened on Monday when he was attacked. They had a respectful exchange for the most part. It led to Rhodes laying out a challenge for SummerSlam, which Punk immediately accepted. Aldis made it official on the spot. Monty, they did not hang around, did they, from Night of Champions? Like, as soon as Night of Champions finished, it was kind of all changed, and it's going to be Cody and Punk at SummerSlam.
Yep, they didn't waste. They didn't waste time. They didn't even give Cody a little phony. They didn't even make him fight Gunther or anybody like for like number one contender. They was just like, nope. We pretty much know what we want to do, guys. This is the match. But that probably has a lot to do with like because I think SummerSlam is earlier in the month than usual too. Maybe they wanted to go ahead and try to get as much word out there as they could to try to sell tickets because TKO that's on it's 2 nights. TKO trying to make as much money as they possibly can, man. I'm expecting ads galore tonight, guys. I'm sorry, but anyway,
Uh,
I'm just want to let you know. But anyway, outside of that, again, I think we all can also see once Punk won the belt, that is like the biggest match you can possibly make as far as name value, which we also know is pretty important. So I think that's part of why we got it laid out to us the way we got it. But I'm again, we'll talk about it more as we talk about the build and when we talk about predictions. But I am wondering, because Cody seems to have the say so. How many face versus face title matches has Cody had? Because I feel like to keep Cody face, he always has when it is another face booked in that position, he always kind of has to do this face versus face thing. I thought that was interesting that they didn't immediately try to turn Cody because he would have a somewhat of a justifiable reason to try to. But again, to be fair, his anger probably should have been placed more at Gunther, which it was. So I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, I mean, this again, I'm a Punk guy. And I love Cody. So I was very happy with this being the match because I know what they're capable of. We just gotta hope it's not a lot of booking shenanigans. If they let them wrestle, then I think this is gonna be some fantastic work. You know what I mean? But you never know. And with these big pay-per-view, especially the last few years, you think about what we kind of gotten at WrestleMania and celebrity involvement and all that. Hopefully it won't get bogged down by booking. But I think Punk and Cody is a great main event because it's actually one of the fresher things we actually got going.
yeah, but again, if you're Sami Zayn, like if I was a Sami Zayn fan, like, you would be devastated. But it's literally what
Oh
happened to
yeah,
McIntyre at WrestleMania. Like how close they come, and it's
for
like
sure.
no, no. But again, I completely get it.
I
Like,
lived through
yeah,
Rey Mysterio WWE title reign though, James. I watched him win the world title the first match of the night, and then John Cena swoop in and beat him that same night. So I don't know, maybe I was a little bit jaded to where I was like, I was happy that they even let him hold it. But once they put the
yeah.
title match on Raw, I was like, Sammy is not surviving Raw with the belt. So it didn't matter to me who they brought out there, unfortunately.
Yeah, right down. Well, we also got Finn Balor defeating Tama Tonga. Jimmy and Keys ended up agreeing to a match, but Fatu opted to sit this one out. Sikoa showed up and attacked Jimmy, but Fatu came back to fight him. They brawled at ringside while Jimmy got the win with a spear. Cargill defeated Bliss. Looks like Alexa injured her elbow in that match. Trick and Mello was ruined by the returning Baron Corbin. Trick has a furry title now. Gina, I think Trick having no offense to Baron, but I think Trick having a furry title piqued my interest more than the return of Baron Corbin.
Yeah, 100%. You can tell that so many people went to the internet to check if those furry belts were on sale for themselves, and they were not looking up Baron Corbin's return. Sorry.
Were you pleased to see him? I
I
don't know. You might
mean,
be a huge fan.
I'm not a huge fan. I didn't mind him. I think that they kind of killed him when they had, who was it that they had kick out of his end of days? His end of
Drew
days was,
McIntyre. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just such a devastating thing. And I think that was like the killing of how high Corbin could go anymore. So it was nice to see him because we hadn't seen him in a while, but I also didn't really think that there was much behind it. I was more interested in the furry belt.
Yeah. That's true. The show ended with Aldis telling Gunther he would be teaming with Zayn to fight Rose and Punk at Saturday night's main event instead of the title match he wanted. This led to the Ring General attacking the GM. We moved to Raw July 13th. Brock's shirt was blurred as he came out with Heyman. Paul has got restraining order on Femi. The ruler arrived. Femi gave up the world title opportunity to face Lesnar at SummerSlam, like he said, claiming he knew the Beast would cost him the match anyway. Oba bowled over the police officers before explaining you can't run from Oba Femi. But Jaxie, I'll ask you this question, right? Because I know we've already talked a bit about Oba and Brock. Do you think Oba Femi is more over now with the crowd as we head towards the third match of Brock than he was with the first match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Uh, I think he has the same momentum for sure, but I think it's like the same momentum that like we've like kept pace with since like his first bout. I think everyone's kind of already ready for this feud to be over and for Oba to really focus on the main title and going for that, especially after winning King of the Ring. But there is definite consistent hype behind Oba. You know, I don't know how much there's like, you know, a great anticipation for a constant back and forth between Oba and Brock, but like I'm pretty sure that everyone's kind of ready to be like the third and final bout between them. I think the build up has actually helped to make people care more about like, you know, Oba like taking down Brock in this way. So I think they've done great with the build up towards this match. But I also do think that the hype is mainly behind Oba and waiting, and just the great anticipation of waiting to see him enter the main title picture.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm glad Oba's more kind of popular than Brock Lesnar. You know, so even with
Oh,
the
a hundred
matches, Oba's,
percent,
yeah,
100%. I mean, I actually don't think that there's been in throughout this whole sort of like tenure between Brock and Oba. I don't really think that there's really been anyone ever rooting for Brock. It's all been just like one sided. It's been Oba all the way. And that's because of the talent he is. I think that people are maybe even more hyped because of the stipulation that they've put behind this match. I think if it was just another regular one-on-one match, people probably would not have the same as excitement. I wouldn't have the same excitement to see them go again one on one within a Hell in a Cell. So, you know, like I think the stipulation has definitely helped build the anticipation for this match. But I'm also like, let it be done after this. Like, let him go into the main title picture, which is where we should have been going with once he had won King of the Ring in the first place. You know.
yeah, without a doubt. Io Sky beat Roxanne Perez in a fun match afterwards. Though she endured a 3-on-1 beatdown until Sol Ruka made the save or tried to. Rodriguez caught the babyface, slammed in the ring post, enjoyed Morgan back in the ring, standing tall with her Judgment Day teammates. We then got a Vision promo with Otis and Akira Tozawa interrupted to confront Dupree after her actions. As Otis was about to express his feelings for his longtime associate, Theory made fun of him, instigating a wild and chaotic brawl that concluded with the big man squashing and depositing Breaker to the floor. Dupree saved Theory, stepping in between him and Otis. She manipulated long enough for the heel to deliver a low blow, and then she embraced Theory and watched as the Vision dealt final blows to the Alpha Academy. After I watched this, Monty, I literally thought if they're not careful, Theory and Dupree might actually get over with this, you know, because like I said, everybody loves Otis, you know.
Yep. Yeah. No. I don't know. It depends. I guess some people have already made their mind up about Theory. I think he was. I know I've watched a lot of his career. I think he's way too young, even still now, to an extent, to kind of have a real opinion on him one way or the other. But I know a lot of people think he can only be he think it's a ceiling, and some people can still see future world champion. I don't know how with the way he's been booked, but they do. And then when it comes to Maxine, like I said, I think Maxine has really kind of impressed me a little bit. Like we know she's gotten better with the in the ring, but I think this is like her best work as far as like trying to get you invested in her character. I'm not really into this whole angle because I just feel like I've seen versions of this before. Like, I mean, this is not that they typically book certain women this way. It's not the exact same thing, but like when Lita turned heel for Edge and other heel relationships, like you said, similar to maybe Liv. I give Liv the benefit because her and Rhea was a different dynamic. I kind of say it's a little different, but still, it's very similar. So I'm not as into this, but like you said, James, we love Otis. So if they're gonna keep utilizing people like Otis to, make us hate Theory and Maxine's relationship or hate the Vision or whatever, I definitely can see it working. But I think Maxine gonna come out of this being a much bigger star. So I'm looking forward to her benefiting. Theory, I'm not so, I'm still up in the air about where he'll land in the long term. But I definitely can see Maxine benefiting from all this. But Otis is a great person to utilize for this. Because like you said, we all love Otis, and y'all gotta leave my big boy alone.
Talking about big boys' voice, Keys was in action versus Jimmy Uso, and that ended in DQ. Jacob Fatu arrived and wasted little time marching to the ring. He hit him and attacked his former friend, first with his bare hands and then with a steel chair. Solo Sikoa appeared and implored his cousin to stop. He suckered the Samoan werewolf in by claiming he was coming home to the bloodline, only to flatten Uso with a Samoan spike. He fired up on Fatu, but the numbers proved too great until LA Knight hit the ring to a thunderous ovation and cleared Uso and Fatu out with a steel chair. The megastar pitched a six-man tag match with Sikoa and Keys as his partner against Fatu and the Usos at SummerSlam. Gina, this was definitely a match I didn't not want, but I didn't know was there. You know, I mean, this should be an interesting one.
Yeah, this was one that I've been up and down with. Part of me is like, why are they doing this feud between the Usos and their younger brother again? But the dynamics with Royce Keys and LA Knight being added is also very interesting, I guess. So, and it's keeping them sort of away from the Roman storyline in a way. So it's kind of up and down, in my opinion. I enjoy it, but then I'm also like, is there nothing else for them to do? And clearly not, because they've just done this, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm still tentative about it, but it seems quite kind of interesting in a way, only because the characters are still very interesting that are involved. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see LA Knight, you know, getting a match. It doesn't
I
happen
mean,
often,
yeah,
but
but LA Knight just needs to get over his issue with the bloodline at some point. Like, he really does.
we got a disheveled Lyra Valkyria answered Bailey's call and insulted her, taking several jabs at her for admitting that every compliment she paid her former tag partner was a lie. Bailey vowed to add kicking Lyra Valkyria's ass around Madison Square Garden to a list of accomplishments. Chad Gable was crowned the next challenger for Penta's Intercontinental Championship, outlasting 6 other superstars to cash his ticket to SummerSlam. The Olympian bested Rusev and All Ego Ethan Page to win the bout and set up a date with the No Fear Luchador. But while he was in the win, was big news of the bout, it was not the whole story. Javon Evans was spectacular, overcoming the Judgment Day against Dragon Lee and nearly defeating Rusev in a gutsy performance that made up the heart and soul of the match. But in the end, Jaxie, it was Chad Gable's big moment. He goes to his home state to try and win his first singles championship.
I was really pleased by this. I mean, they've done some excellent storytelling with Chad Gable, with everything he's done with, El Grande, the character, and I think that this was the best way, considering we've now reintroduced the character of Chad Gable to continue with his momentum. And I felt like this was a great opportunity, but a great opponent. With what he's been producing in CMLL, what better sort of opponent at SummerSlam than to have Chad Gable against Penta? Like, so for me, I think that this was like a really sort of like well done storyline, and one that I felt like the right winner overcame this for once, you know?
Yeah, right. It's going to be really interesting. Like we said, the Intercontinental Championship doesn't really get treated with the respect that I kind of hold it in. So to see it in the singles match at SummerSlam, and Penta's been a great champion as well. There's no doubt.
He's been performing greatly. He's had great defenses, even on Raw. With this, but I do think, again, like with what Chad Gable's been bringing, that there's a lot more excitement to have like this title match being at SummerSlam, because of what Penta's actually managed to do with it, and there's a lot more hype behind that belt than what I felt in quite a long time, if I'm honest, when it comes to like how prestige you look at the Intercontinental belt. So yeah, this is a match that I'm quite looking forward to, and think could be actually a show stealer potentially.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, there were some certainties in life. Death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns every single time. The visionary told a tribal truth as they sat inches apart from their contract signing for the World Heavyweight Championship. However, it was Reigns who mastered the mind games and called the visionary to snap, as he referred to him as number 2, and said he could not walk in his shoes despite his work daddy Triple H running the damn place. Rollins attacked Reigns, then came back from Superman punch, dropped the world champion with a pedigree and a stomp before standing tall to close out the show. Monty, maybe nothing really new from the Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns thing, but I did feel a lot of development was on this Raw, because usually with Raw and SmackDown it just goes. But again, like I said, with SummerSlam, it had to kind of shape up the card, and this Raw definitely did.
Yeah, I agree. It was basically like you mentioned, the crux of kind of building towards the pay-per-view, and I think uh with that last segment, what I appreciated the most about it is that it definitely made me think about things a little bit differently. Like, although like you mentioned, we ran this play before, it is a little bit of a different twist because we know when he was full-fledged tribal chief, you know, although I don't think Roman has changed a lot from that character, I do think that you know, his position is a little bit different than it was. Like, as much as I talk about Cody and Punk definitely being faces, I know we don't feel Roman doesn't feel like a baby face because again he hasn't changed. This is still like a good guy type of deal. So it's interesting to see how the fans and how they decide to go about this match when it comes to Seth and Roman. And like you mentioned, we just had a lot of development that led towards whether it's directly towards SummerSlam or whether it's storylines for Saturday night's main event. This Raw did do a good job of actually being productive.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm not used to it. SmackDown, July 17th, Gunther started the show, and then Pierce came out and told him he'd heard enough. He informed him that if he and Zayn win tomorrow, they will be added to the WWE title belt at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes came out, but he wasn't looking to talk. He rushed the ring and attacked Gunther. He challenged Lynn Gannerel to a match for tonight, which Pierce was more than happy to book. So the main event was Gunther versus Cody. Punk arrived to cheer on his tag team partner, while Sami Zayn showed up and all hell broke loose. The two men know each other well, so there's no trouble making most of the match look good. But unfortunately, the match didn't have a conclusive ending, thanks to Zayn and Punk all getting involved. But again, Gina, I didn't mind it because at least the tag match at Saturday night's main event now kind of had stakes to it as well. It would turn it into a fatal four-way at SummerSlam.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of, gave the opportunity to be on the SummerSlam show. But yeah, it just gave more stakes to it, I guess. So more excitement.
But it's always annoying, though, especially with Gunther and Cody. And you go, well, we've got 10 minutes left. They're not going to give us a classic here, are they? So we kind of know the finish. Like, I'm a bit tired of that.
Yeah, it does feel kind of repetitive in ways, doesn't it?
It really does. Elsewhere, Finn Balor beat Talatonga. We found out Rhea Ripley was still out, so we're having an interim champion crowned in a ladder match. The first qualifier for the SummerSlam ladder match saw Tiffany Stratton beating JC Jane from Fatal Influence. Jay Cargill and Nia Jax fought for one of the spots. They only got a couple of minutes into the fight before Charlotte showed up and caused a disqualification by attacking Cargill. Jaxie, again, a strange situation. Rhea Ripley not be able to compete, but an interim champion instead. And like I said, Charlotte and, of course, Tiffany, the first two through.
We need to get rid of this whole interim thing. It just like to me it don't work. So like sometimes you want to like crown an interim champion. Sometimes you actually just have them relinquish the belt, and it's like one rule for one rule for another. I just don't see why I just don't think that sort of thing should happen. It feels pointless to me. Interim feels pointless to me when it comes to this sort of stuff. But either way, I do think the option for doing a series of one-on-one matches to qualify for a ladder match actually did suit the stipulation well for earning the belt. When there's no one who's actually. Oh wait, is this that match? It is that one, right? With that stipulation, a ladder match.
Yeah, they've won. They've won. They've
That's what they're
qualified for the
working
ladder
towards with
match.
each of these, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ladder
So
match is
I
funny.
do think considering like they're giving each woman an opportunity to kind of like join this match. I think is a good way to build up momentum towards this. But yeah, the word interim for me, I just like kind of don't believe in that anymore when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah. The War Raiders also beat Fraxium. And then Saturday night's main event, July 18th, Madison Square Garden. We got a countdown, which was Joe Tess and Stephanie McMahon. That's nearly 30 minutes of my life wasted. But Jackie Redmond was like 50 feet away from the host as well, so she needed to be there. But Kathy Kelly was banished backstage. Wade and Cole chat with us. And what the fuck, we actually have a match. The Laredo Kid versus Trick Williams, who Trick walked into the garden like he owned it. Kid took to the air late, launched himself off the ring post and wiping Williams out the ringside. He was not enough to earn the win low as the United States champion recovered and flattened the Luchasaur for the hard-fought win. Monty, I mean, Trick, man, what a star. But the other thing that made me laugh was the Laredo Kid was jobbed out in TNA, and now look at him, he's at MSG.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a step up when you think about it. You know, it's a step up. It's a step up for him. You know, this was like you said. I guess, it's weird. A kickoff match on a Saturday night main event is just weird. I guess the countdown kickoff match weird, but anyway, it was fine. It wasn't necessarily meant to be, dramatic, storyline match. It was just meant to be a title defense, and I guess kind of a showcase for Laredo Kid, because I do think, if you weren't familiar with him, you may have, say, oh, who's this guy? And I do think he did enough cool stuff to kind of maybe possibly get some eyeballs. But this, like you said, this is all about Trick Williams getting the experience, being able to be at Madison Square Garden, getting a showcase of his own, but in a place that's supposed to be special to WWE. So I do think it is a big deal for Trick, and like a milestone for him in his career. But the match was basically an exhibition,
Yeah, without a doubt. It was Fanatics Fest, so we saw clips from that, and then Obafemi was introduced. He said the score is 1-1, but he's ahead on the mental game. Brock will understand the tide has changed. He is locked inside with the ruler. And then the main show, Women's Tag Team Championship match, Paige and Brie Bella versus Fatal Influence. This was a surprisingly hard-hitting bout, actually. Saw the champions forced to fight from underneath amid the challengers' quick tags and focused attack, but they were in a position to retain. Late, Paige and Bella fired up, but the numbers game proved costly as JC Jane interfered, reversing Paige's roll-up on Reed, who grabbed a handful of tights for added leverage and the victory. Gina, we have new Women's Tag Team Champions. Oh, my God.
I mean, I, I don't even know what to say with this. I'm actually shocked. Okay, so I'm not shocked. I'm just speechless. Maybe we'll get the women's tag belts being shown on a more weekly basis then, with this change of belts. But also, what kind of run did Brie and Paige have? Because they hardly were here. So yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing for Fatal Influence. It's a bad thing for Brie and Paige. That's pretty much what I can say at this point for them. It's not like Brie and Paige were being shown weekly though, so maybe it's a good thing that Fatal Influence have them. Maybe we'll just have more of a storyline for these tag belts.
Well, I think the Fatal Influence is going to be the greatest women's group of all time, and I just will not know how they did it. I honestly.
Oh God, were they your favorite in NXT? Is that why you're so like?
They held the title, like JC Jane held the NXT Women's title for like 500 days. It was
Monty,
ridiculous.
actually, Monty, what are your views on that? I don't want to know James's. I want to know Monty's.
It's just funny because James absolutely hated them. He couldn't believe that they were around. Yeah, he couldn't believe that that's kind of what I think he's getting at, is that like they were so successful and he just couldn't believe that they were even around as long as they were to be that successful. Because even JC Jane was like in a group with Mandy Rose and Gigi Dolan, and it was Toxic Attraction. So technically, this is like Fatal Influence is a baby of another faction that used to exist. And like that's literally how long we basically watched JCJ be in a faction and be successful. And like now she's on the main roster tag team champion, and like she's a long reigning women's champion in NXT. We are both amazed at their success. I do think JC is better than I used to give her credit for, or at least has gotten better. But as far as like he said, like how successful they are, he's not wrong. Like they have the chance to be a very, very legendary group. And me and James have watched a lot of them, and we cannot tell you why or how.
Well, that's very interesting to know, actually. So, okay, James, I'll take your word for it. Fine, I believe you.
No, it's truly amazing.
No, fair play. Like again, don't know how they do it, but they've done it again. So fair play. Sami Zayn said he keeps getting screwed. Gunther told him not to get in his way and ruined SummerSlam. And then the no DQ match, Danhausen versus JD McDonough. Danhausen found himself on the defensive for most of the match. Even an assist from the Mini-Hausens could not turn the tide. The arrival of Carl Anthony Towns. I know. I looked that up. Drew an enormous pop from the fans in New York City and led to a finish that saw him chokeslam Mysterio through a table, while Danhausen delivered the Triple D, the Danhausen Death Drop, to McDonough for the win. Jackson, Jackson, what do you think of this?
Like not much really. It was just there. I mean, like again, I just this was one of those matches where I just like every time I see JD in a match, I just feel sorry for him. I don't really know if he can do any right in a match as of late. And I know that like this is the whole stipulation, like Danhausen's cursed him and stuff like that, but just in general, he's just before even Danhausen, he's just always had bad luck. Just like it was just there. I think it was entertaining. There's a lot of people that really just enjoy Danhausen's presence, and I think that's what it's meant to be, like a distraction and just a bit of fun. So that's what it is a bit of fun.
Sounds like you really enjoyed it.
That sounded to me like I was trying to convince myself.
I guess it's the same as like Jude Bellingham hitting the diving headbutt in Birmingham. You know, when we see like the basketball stars getting involved, you know, like that's what I used to think anyway. Up next, Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria, a competitive match that was likely hurt ever so slightly by Lyra's injury suffered early on with a hard right hand to the face. It picked up nicely and showcased and celebrated the in-ring talents of both women. Bailey had the match won and was clearly dominant at one point until an attempted roll-up ended with the heel shifting the body, hanging the role model up, throat first on the top rope, and then the new chokehold resulting in a referee stoppage, while a post-match beatdown from Lyra ended with a Nightwing on the steel ring stairs. Monty, what were your thoughts on this matchup? Because this, I don't know if it's got even bigger meaning now, if you know what I mean, when we look into it. But again, Lyra went over strong.
Yeah. I think when we look back at it, it might, like you said, mean something. If it's potential, if what happens, if what I think, or what a lot of people believe might happen after this when it comes to Bailey's future, I do think we're gonna look back on this and just, and look back on her career in WWE, because I feel like this is a perfect summary of like what I feel like Bailey has kind of done. Like she's always just giving it her all, but also just been very forgiving and like putting over when it comes to putting over Lyra. Like I don't think you could do much better than this. I thought it was a very hard fought competitive match. I think, like you mentioned, the busted nose or whatever kind of added to the violence that I think Lyra was putting herself through. And you got shout out to Lyra. I don't think me and you, James, got because we've been on this Lyra train for a long time. I've been seeing a lot of other people really get into this character. And to be fair to Lyra, she's pretty much been a babyface in WWE for as long as I've seen her, but she is like getting a chance to show a different side of herself, and I can't wait to see. Hopefully, WWE realize what they have with Lyra, and they present her and allow her to be as great as she can be in this role. Because I think she has a brutal, mean streak to her, and I'm hoping they allow her to kind of showcase that. And like, I do think she's kind of going a little bit crazy too, which I don't know. I know she can get. I know she can be very physical. You saw that in this match with a lot of stuff she was able to do to Bailey. And this match, in my opinion, probably had another gear it could have went into. But I think if this is one of those situations where this one of those last feuds for Bailey in WWE or whatever, I think Lyra would have been benefited from all of this because again, look at all the work that Bailey was willing to do to make her look as good as she did in this situation. So I thought it was a good piece of business, as when I used to listen to Stone Cold podcast, as he would always say, and that's what this was, a good piece of business. So I thought it
Yeah.
did good. It was a fun match. Lyra looked like $1 million, and I think Bailey is one of the greats. This is another example of why.
Yeah, I think it's just a throwback to kind of how I remember women's wrestling, and I don't think it's that far, too far ago that it was kind of like that, and it's kind of changed up a little bit. from what I'm seeing now, like even with the women's matches being short and stuff like that. But we'll go on to discuss it. But yeah, no, I really like this one. Up next was CM Punk and Cody Rhodes versus Gunter and Sami Zayn. Chance of this is awesome. Rain down from the stands as Punk, Rhodes, Zayn, and Gunter lay in the center of the ring. Their bodies racked with pain well into the blockbuster high stakes main event. The combatants cut a frantic pace throughout the bout, maximizing their minutes, keeping fans guessing as to which team would emerge victorious. Gunter capitalized on the late referee bump to Charles Robinson, blasting Rose with the WWE Championship. For another referee could count the fall, Nick Aldis pulled him to the floor, preventing the ring general from scoring the pin. Punk delivered the go to sleep. Rose pinned Gunter and earned the win. As a result, the advertised main event between the best in the world and the American Nightmare is preserved. But Gina, I still thought this was a really good tag team matchup, you know?
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. You could see like the different dynamics between the teams. You could see the different storylines that were happening, sort of all in one. It was a good match, and there was a lot just being told within this match. Nick Aldis getting involved. I found it funny. I found it brilliant because sometimes you do get pushed to a point when you're in work and Susan has just decided to push you 1 point too many and you just decide to sabotage her work. So that's what Nick Aldis was doing here. He had been pushed to a point and I can't blame him for it. So I kind of love it. I'm here for it. So fair play to Nick.
Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson celebrated the NBA title victory, complete with a custom World Heavyweight Championship made of blue leather. Seth Freaking Rollins had other plans, though, using Tyrese Halliburton as a distraction, allowing him to attack Reigns from behind. Before he could deliver a devastating stomp low, Brunson stepped in front of the Architect to cut him off. The OTC delivered a Superman punch that flattened the division with a spear to send him packing. Reigns stood tall with Brunson. Jaxie, again, I'm not just saying, but did you have any clue what was going on? Have you been watching the New
No,
York Knicks and the
no,
NBA and
I
stuff?
had no idea. But I knew these two were from some form of sports. I guessed by the belt, the design of the belt, that it was potentially basketball, but this meant nothing to me. So I was just kind of like, okay, did these two need to be involved?
Monty is the American here. I mean, come on, everybody. This was just, I don't know what this was.
I love basketball. I hated this.
All right, good.
I mean, I don't know what I don't want my I don't again. I know personally because I keep up with basketball, so I know Halliburton and I know Brunson loves wrestling. So I'm not really surprised. I know that they talk about it all the time, in particular WWE. They love WWE. They love it. So I'm not surprised. Do I want them involved in my world heavyweight title feud, even for a damn throwaway segment in New York? No, I don't. It's just really as simple as that. We don't need it. I'm sure the people in Madison Square Garden and the people who are fans of the Knicks and fans of WWE, I'm sure they probably enjoyed it for whatever. But yeah, man, it's just pointless to me. I wasn't so. Although you guys may have been lost and disinterested, I knew everything that was up. I knew all of these people and still was disinterested. So.
But
That's
also,
good.
why should we care? You two are involved in this match. Like it doesn't really matter like who you are. Again, you're not involved in this match, so why are you getting involved? Like that's my only question from it. Is like you don't need to be involved. Like they've pretty much shown us their history. Because if you didn't know Monty, like Seth, betrayed Roman Reigns, and
Mhm.
he's been holding this like pent up anger ever since.
Oh,
Um,
really?
No
yeah,
way.
so, yeah, exactly. So again, why was there any need for for us Brits, two random guys to get themselves involved when we already got the players there involved? Just left them to
Yeah,
it.
it's a great point.
I'm just really getting
Also,
over this celebrity appearances. I don't mind when you want to
mhm,
point them out that they're in the crowd at ringside watching because they're fans and they're there with their family and friends watching. Fine. But I don't see why these guys need to be in the ring and be stood in front of Seth, blocking him from hitting Roman. Like, get the fuck out the way and go to the seats. Unless you're dunking a basketball, get out the way. Why are you here? That's my view.
and that
Sorry.
and that was our angel saying that, by the way. I love it.
Yeah, I
I love
know.
every second of that. I love every second of that. But hold on, two things though, Jay. One, say what you want about WWE and always being playing the entertainment, but like it wasn't always like this. Like celebrities would have their own segments and stuff, but we didn't have Pete Rose. We didn't have any of the old celebrities in world title feuds. Okay. And second of all, for anybody saying we being biased against WWE, we shit on Big Boom and whoever else they try to put out at AEW too. So we just want celebrities to kind of
It's
just
so true.
watch the show
Yeah,
and
they
get out the
just need
ring,
to stay
please.
in their lane. Stay in
It's
your
just like
lane.
Exactly.
I really like seeing like celebrities like Vanessa Hudgens, who is an obvious big fan of WWE, but sits in like in the
Always in the
audience
crowd.
just being
Right.
a fan. I'm fed up with these, like even like some of these rappers who come in and then they've got their own custom belt that they're wearing. You ain't earned shit. Why are you walking around with a belt on? Like it's just sit in the crowd and be
Exactly.
a fan. That's I don't need all of these like different sports persons involved in wrestling matches where they've not actually trained in it. So for me, it's like stop getting involved.
Yeah, exactly. They need people that love the sport like Jelly Roll and Little Yachty, and Logan Paul. Anyway, we had SummerSlam kickoff for some reason on July 19th, because it was the Fanatics event. Triple H was first. He said he's growing his hair. He finds a lookalike, and luckily Gunter interrupted. Triple H tells him he's pushed Nick too far. Aldis arrives and a fight breaks out. Triple H makes the match for SummerSlam. And it is funny. I mean, Monty, I talked about this quickly. It's hilarious that some people will have no idea that Nick Aldis actually used to wrestle. So again, I do love that about
Yeah.
WWE. But it was like, I think Eugenia was saying as well about, Maxine Dupree, because I'm not on there. I don't know. I think Austin Theory's her boyfriend, But again, that's the whole thing with
Right.
wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, I know way too much about Nick Aldis and Magnus, but but yeah, no, I agree. I think maybe just maybe because I do think one thing Nick Aldis has in his favor is that you may not know he was a wrestler, but when you see him in them suits walking around backstage, like that's a big ass dude. He probably can fight Gunther because he be looking huge in his suits. Like I give Nick his props. But yeah, as somebody who do know about the Impact days or even the Ring of Honor days for Nick, I think NWA, I think he even had NWA run. So as somebody who knows about how good Nick, I want to say was because he hasn't been active, but even before he signed to be like a authority person, he was pretty still known as a really good wrestler. So it's really it's gonna be really cool to kind of see how some people's minds are blown and then how some people just get a kick out of watching him have a really good match with Gunther. As a matter of fact, not to spoil anything that we haven't talked about yet, but at some point he's gonna do a clover leaf, and I saw, oh my god, that's a perfect clover leaf. Like, how did he? And I'm like, he used to do it all the time. He used to do it all the time, guys. Yeah, he's a great wrestler, and I think having him fight somebody like Gunther too is a great mesh of styles if you know anything about him. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really really cool for little one of us, if you're an Impact fan, I know you might get a kick out of it. And if you just like independent wrestling over the last decade or so, this is still kind of cool. Even if WWE would never explain to you why you should know who Magnus is or
Yeah.
Nick Aldis is.
But the thing is, they've done the Kurt Angle thing to him, where he's come back as like a GM and then wrestling, and
Right.
he can move more than Kurt Angle, and
Hmm.
again, like you said, when it comes to it, I think it's a really good idea for him to come and get over with the crowd because now the WWE universe know, and we know how important that is
No.
to every single wrestler who
Hmm.
they know who Nick Aldis is. So yeah, it's better than him just plopping him in and getting no reaction. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? We got Seth Rollins arriving on the kickoff. He said he's a people champion and then laughs that the OTC isn't there. He said he's always had Roman's number. Paul Heyman was next and he got ECW chance. He said ECW is dead, much like he wishes Oba was. All right, calm down. This brought out Femi, who called Paul a fat
Damn.
chicken. At least he called him a fat chicken, though, and promised him victory at SummerSlam. Penta and Gable had a respectful face-to-face. Liv and Dom was next. Danhausen interrupted, and he called ugly. He reminded Liv that she is still cursed. We got a clip from Tom Brady slapping Logan Paul, and Kenny Omega's prophecy gets one step closer every day. Cody was last up. He talks about Saturday night's main event when Punk hit Cody with the title. Not in the way you think. It was like a Punk arrived. Cody tells Punk he's not his brother. Punk said last night was an accident, but this was on purpose, and he pushed him. I mean, Gina, the thing is with Cody and Punk is they're both very good, and with time, and this is heating up at this moment in time.
Yeah, definitely. It's sending kind of fans into a bit of a confusion because they're like, wait, who do we cheer for? Because they're both faces. We love both of them. They're both the top of the company. It's really difficult. It's sending fans into confusion. And it's hard because they're giving, they're all against each other and you want to cheer, but then you're like, oh, but wait, I like Punk, so why am I cheering Cody punching him? But then it's the other way around too. So yeah, I think it's still building up good momentum as well as confusion.
Plus, I also love the fact that they're both prima donnas. Do you know what I mean? It was like, well, you just pushed me, and now I'm angry at that. You stood in my
Yeah,
shoe
you
or something
you
like
stood on my
this.
shoe. I now have a scuff mark on my left shoe, so now I'm gonna take my anger out on you.
You've gone too far. Anyway, Raw, July 20th. We actually started with a match. Javon Evans and Dragon Lee versus Braun and Theory. This was a great way to start the show. Lee and Evans worked well together, and the Not Vision only won with the help of Logan. After the match, Alpha Academy hit the ring to make the save, but were beaten down by the Hills, all while Dupree watched from the top of the ring, amused by what unfolded in front of her. But Jaxie, how refreshing to have a match start Raw. And I think it benefited from it as well.
You know what? What when it hasn't been done in a while, when you actually react like that and say, "Oh my gosh, I don't think we've had a match starting out one of these shows without it being a promo or something first. So this was a nice change of pace. They should try and open with this more often.
They should have more wrestling.
They should,
It's like they should try that.
Imagine if they did. Imagine.
I know. Well, moments after being confronted backstage by the Judgment Day over the human monies, Danhausen made his way to the ring and proposed giving it away to the fans. Jada McDonough and Dominic Mysterio with Liv Morgan hit the ring to protest, only for Joe Hendry to make the save and clear the hills. The babyface stood tall to close out the segment, or as Cole calls him, John Henry. That's good. Backstage hijinks involving all four led to McDonough throwing Danhausen's money at Obafemi, and a match between them was made. Oh, and Hendry versus Mysterio for later in the show, which Hendry won, thanks to distracting Liv. As for Oba, he smashed JD. Big Cass is on his way back. Yep. Gable and Penta defeated Rusev and Paige. Admittedly not supposed to be on Raw, Solo Sikoa wasted no time walking into the ring, immediately calling out Seth Rollins. The visionary asked if they were talking or fighting, to which Solo opted for the former. Much like he did with LA Knight a few weeks back, he pitched an alliance claiming he could be the shield for Seth Rollins. This brought out Jacob Fatu, who wasn't pleased at all. He did eat a super kick from Rollins to close out the segment low, and then Fatu was in the main event against LA Knight, who cut an impassioned promo on Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns laid out his plan to upend the bloodline. Jimmy Uso appeared at ringside, attempted to interfere, but Solo arrived and cut him off. Royce Keys was there, and so was Jey Uso. Fatu eventually benefited from the distraction and won with his trademark moonsault. The bloodline leveled Knight, Keys, and Sikoa to close out the show. My God, Monty, I spoke too much there, but there we go. That was the involvement. Solo wanting to deal with Seth, Jacob beating LA Knight, and LA Knight again with another good promo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that for like a 6-man tag match with no real stakes, how much TV time this feud.
Thank you.
This feud got a crazy amount of TV time for something that's really that. I mean, because like I don't want to say it's unimportant in the grand scheme of things, because all right, if one team wins versus the other, what happened? If they want to, LA Knight can just keep feuding with them, and vice versa. So, like, what changes if if in this feud for us to get all of this, going on one episode? But obviously, this is important in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens and how this culminates, or at least what happens to LA Knight after this, because I do think, like mentioned earlier, he's been bogged down in this bloodline feud for so long that I can't even think about. I don't even remember the last thing he did when he wasn't feuding with the like. What feud did he have going before the bloodline? Do anybody remember? Nope. That's how long it's been.
I think Logan was afterwards. Yeah. So,
Exactly. Like it's been that long, man. Anyway,
I was hearing
so
crickets before I could remember what feud was before that.
exactly. That's how long he's been involved with some type of, whether it's the Usos, whether it's whatever it's Jacob or whatever he got going on. Even when he used to feud with Solo, like it's been that long. So it's a lot going on. But oh well, like you said, they developed it and we got the 6 man. And they're building towards it, James. I could just feel the anticipation through the microphone.
Gina, quick question: what was different or interesting, if you want, about this Raw that we have just spoken about?
That it opened with a match.
No, but not only that, not a single segment or a match from the women's division was on the Raw.
Oh yeah, that as
Oh
well. That
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, this was the Raw that did it. You did it.
Yeah,
I
that
actually
took
heard
me
of this ahead of time and boycotted this episode for that reason. So I just watched
off.
a catch-up episode of
Mhm.
someone reviewing to tell me what actually happened on this Raw.
I too boycotted this. I was like, oh, is that how you're going to play at WWE? Well, fuck watching your episode this week.
Well, that's why we do the podcast. Yeah, it was a shame. SmackDown July 24th opened with a contract signing for Nick Aldis and Gunter. They sure like their contract signings. Adam Pearce told Aldis that soon as he signs the contract, he's relinquishing all GM responsibilities. And he's also agreeing that WWE is not responsible for anything that happens in this match. Gunter said this match will be the greatest moment of Aldis' career, but it's beneath him and a waste of time when he should be pursuing the world title. He spent a few minutes talking trash in an attempt to play mind games. Predictably, this turned into a fight. Gunter hit a low blow and a powerbombed Aldis through the table to end the segment. I'll tell you something, though. Nick Aldis is up there with the GMs. I mean, Jaxie, again, I mean, the GM role is probably not steeped in a lot of history. I mean, SmackDown's had quite a few of them. And also, Gunther was wearing jeans, which I don't know was to enhance Nick Aldis, but I was like, oh, is it Casual Friday or something?
I mean, I guess this is how Gunther does not take this feud seriously. He's in jeans. He turned up in jeans, you know. But this again, I didn't actually see it getting this far. But I'm all here to see Nick Aldis come back and to see how he'll fare against Gunther. You know, if anything, I think that this does well in terms of keeping Gunther distracted when it comes to not being in the main title picture. But again, I gotta say, I'm with Sammy on this. There's always the same guys that are all preaching and chatting like they deserve title shot after title shot, and really they're just taking away opportunity from other younger members of the roster that could potentially have those opportunities. So yeah, it's nice to see Gunther like not feuding for a title shot right now because of he's kind of been heavily in that area anyway. So we don't really need him actually in the title shot right now.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The mic was cutting out during this segment as well, which is a problem WWE going to experience a lot of, actually. Lainey Reed versus Brie Bella. Brie got the win, but the rest of Fatal Influence attacked. Soon it was over. Nikki Bella made a surprise return. Nikki Bella, everybody? No? Setting up a 6-women tag match for SummerSlam. Yeah, Nikki's back.
No lie, no lie. The moment I heard Nikki's music, I actually said I called the 6-woman tag happening at SummerSlam. The moment I heard her music drop, so I was like, "Oh, okay, this is why they also dropped the belt as well. This is why they also dropped the belts, so that then the Bellas can actually come just pick it back up." Okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, up next was a qualifier for the women's world title ladder match. Kiana James taking on Chelsea Green. Unfortunately, didn't get a ton of time. Green picked up the victory without the show even needing to go to an ad break.
3 minutes.
Charlotte Flair cost Nia Jackson a qualifier match last week. They were booked in another qualifier, so Jax had a fair shot at being included. But Jay Cargill, VFAB Mission showed up during the match, and the distraction gave Jax a chance to take control, but also didn't look too happy about to see him. The Queen fought them off, and Jay caused a DQ when she attacked Flair. I mean, Monty, did this make up for no women on Raw having really quick diva-esque matches on SmackDown?
You know what? As someone who did not boycott Raw and and had to watch a show with no women. You know what, James? Say what you want, but we had 6 women involved in. You know what? Matter of fact, if you count the factions outside of the ring, we had 6 women involved in the first one. We had 2 after that, and 2 more. That is 10 women on the show. Do you want to know how long they were all on television? A total of 16 minutes.
16 fucking minutes. Wow.
I don't even know if it's
Yay!
worth it. I don't even know if it's worth it. Would I rather have just, three women's matches bashed out in 16 minutes, or just have them not on the show? They still feel relevant regardless of
Pick your poison.
which option. Yeah.
Pick your poison. Oh, we're doing so great. So awesome. Great job, guys.
Women's Revolution in full swing.
Where's
Oh,
Stephanie
my
McMahon to start to kick it off again? Maybe we need another one, Stephanie.
She's too busy doing her
I bet
podcast.
you it was Stephanie's
Yeah.
idea.
I bet you it's
She's too
Stephanie's
busy with
idea.
Joe
She's like,
Tess.
what if we don't have any women on one show and then just have 10 turn up in a promos like the show after? We should do that. Yeah. That was totally Steph's idea.
Genius.
Yeah. We also had the Punk Cody face to face. Punk showed a lot of distrust towards Rose due to him saying he owed Punk for hitting him in the face for the title. Punk said he didn't want the title to come between their friendship, but it seems to be a lost cause. Rose admitted he respects Punk, but he doesn't like him. The main event was a fatal 4-way to see who would get a match against Sami Zayn at SummerSlam.
Do you ever actually really have anyone that's actually a decent friend? I don't actually think that there's really anyone that's genuinely been like Cody's friend and not been two-faced.
Well, we know Punk, he'll be fine. He hasn't got a history, has he? When has Punk ever, been a dick?
Of course not.
Why?
Punk has plenty of friends.
Yeah, that's what Cody thought. He was like KO, Randy. They don't ever turn on people, do they? Like,
Jay, of course not. He'd never turn on me. Not for his cousin. Of course not. No, he didn't turn on family. He, of course, won't turn on me.
Yeah, the family. Jackie. Yeah, Jackie. Anyway, the main event, like I said, was a fatal 4-way to see who would face Sami Zayn at SummerSlam for the number one contendership. Finn Balor, Damien Priest, Royce Keys, and Trick Williams were the competitors. So we, of course, had 2 former world champions. One guy who actually had a match at SummerSlam, and Trick Willie as well. Keys was about to win when Jacob Fatu pulled him out of the ring and attacked him. This allowed Balor to hit Priest with a coup de grace for the win. Now, Gina, I know we haven't maybe been together as long as, me and Jaxie, but, we do see a lot. And again, with superstars up and down, and see Balor pinning Damien Priest, to get a SummerSlam match is quite interesting in a way, seeing how, they've been connected somewhat. But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing that I did point out to Jax when we were watching this match, that it was kind of a little, Judgment Day reunion for Balor and Priest. So it's kind of ironic that he got the win over Priest within this match too, I'm not mad at it, to be fair, because I still feel like Finn Balor and Priest have great chemistry. They have better chemistry for me than Cody and Jay. So I even enjoy just seeing their one-on-one spots within this fatal 4-way match. Again, they just had that chemistry there for you to be that invested. So yeah, I thought it was quite good. Right now, Damien's got the tag belts, so I would have gone this route myself if I could have chosen and put Balor as the winner. But I think it's kind of, full circle, like you said, having him pin Priest.
Yeah, without a doubt. So Raw, July 27th, the go-home show. Official weigh-in conducted by Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, and Triple H was there as well, with the unforgiving confines of the steel structure surrounding them. Femi weighed in at 302 pounds before Brock Lesnar made his way to the ring. Heyman put over Lesnar's history of success in cages and warned the Ruder he will be the underdog Saturday night before revealing his client weight was 303 pounds. I'm not locked in here with you. You are locked in here with me, Femi said to close out the segment. Paul's mic kept cutting out, and Netflix didn't show Brock giving over the finger either, which was very interesting, shall we say. Alpha Academy pushed Austin Theory and Bron Breakker to the brink in a highly competitive match, with Otis down ringside. Breakker obliterated Tozawa to win After the Hills beat down the opponent with Maxine Dupree adding insult to injury unnoticed. Fury delivered a sickening chair shot to the big man to close things out. Javon Evans beat Rusev. And then we got a concert segment involving Joe Hendry, Danhausen, which admittedly went on for too long. And it came to a screeching end to a screeching halt thanks to the Judgment Days, Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. And of course, WBC welterweight champion Ryan Garcia. They later blasted Hendry with guitar, then watched as Dirty Dom beat Danhausen. Jaxie, I'm so sorry I keep coming for you for this. All right. I don't know why. I don't know why.
No,
I don't know
but
why.
you know what? I actually knew who this guy was because he's an idiot in real life. He's a twat. I don't like the way he carries himself. He's opinionated in the most horriblest of ways online. And I'm just not a fan of him at all. So I just really wasn't a fan of this. And yet again, it just goes back to everything we were just saying beforehand about just other sports persons like just getting involved where they don't need to be. If anything, this for me just pissed me off even more that Judgment Day would even like associate themselves with someone like him when he's just like his opinions are just really like unnecessary, unwanted, and no one wants to hear it. I just did not like his involvement at all. I
That
thought it was
man
poor
needs
taste from
therapy,
them.
not
I just
wrestling.
I just don't know why WWE even brought him in apart from, because he's got so much controversy behind him. Yeah, let's have him in it. And that to me is like poor taste. I'd rather you actually brought Snooki back.
He has a match coming up, doesn't he? I think. Does he?
Yeah, but I don't care. We're not here to promote other people's matches in other sports. Can we just stick to like wrestling
WWE
and wrestlers being in this fucking sport? I'm sick of it.
This is what Netflix are doing. This is they're showing the whole.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just
like I said, if you
WWE
watch
is
it
just a
live, the
walking
amount
ad.
of
They're just a walking
fighters
ad
that
campaign.
do for boxing and stuff
I
like
can't
this.
see
But
Anthony Joshua though coming on to do a wrestling promo to promote one of his. I don't know. He might shock us
no,
and do it
but
himself.
guys,
but
in the crowd.
we
I just
did
don't
watch
know.
Tyson Fury sing when Drew McIntyre lost at the Clash in the Castle.
Oh,
I'm
don't
just-
remind me.
Remind everybody, all right?
Oh my god! Why did you have to bring up such a cringy moment again? I forgot about that.
Yeah, but we forget, like through time, like you said. But it still happened, all right?
Okay, but like that didn't need to happen. That was completely unnecessary, and I'd be much happier not seeing that man on a WWE screen again. Like, just go stick to your own sport, please.
But even before that, I like Joe Hendry, I like Danhausen, but this was fucking bad. Like the crowd were dead for it. It was just
I didn't really hear much like from the crowd. Like they didn't go as wild as what like and again, I don't know if this is because who's involved, like say Roman and Seth, or whether or not it was like, you know, like how high up these basketballers were compared to the other guy. But the crowd definitely seemed so much more quieter for this promo.
Yes, one good. All Ego from Page beat Rey Mysterio. Jimmy and Jay hit the ring for a promo. Before they could say much, Sikoa appeared in the crowd. He actually started going pew 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 pew. He asked why he want to go back to the bloodline.
So funny. Yeah, pew 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 pew.
It was so funny.
The funny thing is, James, whenever I see my father, I say pew pew to him. So it made me think I was listening to myself.
Well, he said you can tell Roman he can kiss my ass. LA Knight entered the arena, talked trash while drawing Solo in the brawl with the Usos until Jacob Fatu arrived on the scene. The Samoan Werewolf made his way to the ring, but quickly caught fists from Knight and Solo. Fatu fended them off until Keys made the save. He threw down with his friend turned rival, eventually clearing the ring and standing tall with his SummerSlam partners. Like you said, Monty, there's been a lot of build to this, so maybe we're not going to talk about the match, but what I found funny, and again, Solo Sikoa, and like I said, people finally realising how kind of just gosh darn entertaining it is, you know?
That guy was the silent enforcer of the bloodline. And I think I'm starting to see why they wanted to keep him quiet, because he's so damn funny and entertaining that he wouldn't have been as imposing in the beginning, I guess. But again, he's knocking it out. He knocked it out of the park as he started to show his personality when he was a leader of his, mini bloodline. And I think now, he's been on his own. He's again doing pretty good and like getting the crowd is getting behind him, and to the point to where I think maybe I can entertain them possibly having intentions of putting him back with the family at the beginning of this feud, but now he's doing so well that I don't, I'm a little bit, I don't know. I don't know exactly what Solo might be better off solo, and at this point, and just being himself, and I think if he keeps going on this trajectory, and if they continue to present him right, who knows what Solo could be if they just allow him to be himself. Because again, that personality is getting him far. And I think to me personally, right now, and I think maybe to a lot of other people, he's more compelling as this version of him, and I think his more compelling possibilities for the future versus what he could possibly be doing if he was to end up in the bloodline, or just or something still bloodline related. Like maybe him solo doing things involving other people would be even more interesting than what they got going so far. They really are. They really, in my opinion, have slipped and fell into something really cool here with him, because of moments like what you mentioned, his improvisation, and his the way he's speaking on the mic with full confidence. I think right now he's hitting his stride. So it'll be interesting to see whether this match is a catalyst for something or whatever. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here, because like you mentioned, I think that's been the strongest part of this feud, in my opinion. Like even a backstage promo he gave trying to pump up Royce and LA Knight like a week or so before that, I thought he did great with. So again, Solo has just been again on top of his game.
Yeah, without a doubt. Women's Intercontinental Championship, Sol Ruka versus Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez dominated a large portion of the bout and even benefited from interference from Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. Yeah, Sky attempted to even things up and prevent a tainted win. She did wiping out Morgan with a bullet train attack against the ring post, but that distraction allowed Perez to interfere, pulling Ruka off the ropes and allowing Rodriguez to deliver the Tahina bomb for the win and the title. Gina, this
Boo.
was a big surprise.
I'm sorry, this is the which one?
This is Raquel Rodriguez beating Sol Ruka.
Yeah, no, this match went hard. Raquel's nose got busted open, number one. And fair play to the ref because she cleaned her nose up from the blood, and everyone started clapping her. So I really loved that little shout out to that. But no, she deserved it. Like Raquel's needed about for herself for a long time. I'm really sorry, Sol. I'm excited for you to come back and either come back for the main women's belt or go back for this belt at some point. But I'm actually damn happy for Raquel. She's actually deserves a belt for herself and not just a tag belt. So, no, fair play to her. I will give a shout out. She only kind of won that because of Roxy, but I'm still happy for her.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame with Soul dropping, but hey, we'll see what happens. Seth Rollins interrupted Roman Reigns' main event promo, wasted a little time telling him that while the OTC has it all, one thing he cannot claim is that he's better at professional wrestling than the Visionary. Rollins suckered Reigns into losing his cool, and he unloaded on number one contender, rocking him with a Superman punch and adding a spear. But that chair, he grabbed a chair, and I don't know if you guys know, but Roman Reigns has got a thing with chairs, right? It's a little bit.
Does he?
Yeah,
Oh my
I don't.
god.
Yeah, he's got a problem with it. He went into the ring only for Rollins to deliver a stomp, driving his head into the weapon, and Rollins stood tall to close the show. SmackDown July 31st, which was last night. Sami Zayn started the show, soon followed by Finn Balor. Zayn said Balor was great and should have been a champion multiple times, but this is his moment. They were going to leave it at that, but Gunter ended up attacking both men out of nowhere. Nick Aldis came out to fight with Gunter after he took up both men a second time. He had the ring general locked in a cloverleaf until several officials separated them. And like you said, Monty, it looked like he hadn't been away, hadn't it? You know?
Yeah, man, like water to a fish. He like water to a fish, man. He looked great in the with the clover leaf, and just like the brawl and the intensity that he had. He was talking a little, chatting a little shit, as you guys say. So like that was great. That was very great. I enjoyed it. I got a kick out of it. And again, like it's a pleasant surprise. I always wondered since he returned, like since he signed with WWE and he was in the suit, would they ever go down this route? So it's really cool to see that that they found a way to do it. And yeah, man, this is a great little advancement, because Gunther has just been of you know what, this is one of the most annoying versions of Gunther, I must say. in my opinion, not in a bad way. I know he's a heel, so he kind of has to be annoying, but I even like Finn and like the involvement of him attacking Finn and Sammy, which led up to this, and the promo was good. This is an all around pretty good segment, in my opinion.
Yeah. Beef and Mission defeat Green and Stratton. War Raiders versus Damien Priest and R-Truth, who had cheese on his head. It's the WWE and AAA tag titles were both on the line. Referee tried to break up all four men fighting in the corner, but he got shoved down twice, so he called for the bell. They kept fighting ringside and into the crowd. Tama and Talatonga attacked both teams. Haku is back as manager to the Tongans. Jaxie, I mean, well, unfortunately, it's the tag division. It's just, I'm not even going to bother trying to talk about it. But I mean, Haku's back with him, I suppose.
I mean, well, that was a pleasant surprise. It was really nice to see him actually. Whether or not this will actually do anything for the Tongans to, make strive within the tag division, I don't know. But guess what? There's no like build up or male tag title match happening at SummerSlam across both nights, even though they've got 2 nights. And I'm baffled by that because guess what? Both sides, Raw and SmackDown, I keep forgetting who the champions are just because like the tag division has been booked horribly. So I want to say that there's excitement seeing that Haku potentially coming back in more of a managerial sort of position. But I don't know if that's going to do the tag division any good right now because I don't know if WWE have forgotten that they actually have 2 male sets of like tag team titles. And I know that like Fatal Influence are the tag champions at the moment, but at least they're part of SummerSlam in some way. The belts are being showcased. Like both male tag belts are not like SmackDown and Raw tag belts are both not being shown, and it's just like, okay, why?
I've got no answer. I don't hate tag teams. We found it out.
Triple H hates tag team wrestlers.
Do you know what?
That should be my
I actually was
catchphrase.
wondering whether or not you were going to say that again because you say that so often. Do you know what, Monty? I actually believe you.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
it's like every
proof is every week. They might as well join the belts too, by the way, at this point. Because why do we have 2
Yeah.
divisions when you only
Yeah.
showcase 4 teams at best a week?
Exactly. No, it's true. Like they forgot about the Street Profits. They were like, "Oh yeah, we put the belts on them," and then we quickly took it away before anyone could actually remember that they were the champions at one point.
Yeah, I think Triple H with tag teams is like Romans with steel chairs. You know what I mean? He just doesn't want to do it. Let's think about it. He just doesn't like it.
They're just there, It's just there. He just doesn't want to think about it.
Trick Williams came out to the ring to talk about his upcoming US title bout against Baron Corbin. He didn't waste much time and called out Corbin, who came out right away. He said he'd learned patience, which Trick doesn't have. And that was it, really. JD McDonough ended up getting himself a shot at the AAA Cruiserweight Championship after backstage altercation with Ray Phoenix. He came up short. Then the final competitor in the ladder match was scheduled for SummerSlam was decided when Julia fought Lash Legend for the open spot. Unfortunately, this ended up being a very short match. Legend got the victory just a couple of minutes to advance to this weekend's start. But I mean, Monty, what was the fucking point in this? I really don't
It was
understand.
so shit. And I love both of these ladies to the point to where it's like I'm not even so like hurt that Lash won because like you could give me Lash winning, but can you give them a 10-minute match or 15? Can you give me something? Like what did Julia deserve to just lose in 3 minutes? And to the point to where she's trending after this, and she got to put out that a great tweet. By the way, I love the tweet because I love like how determined she sound in the tweet, and people are getting behind her because of this. But like we talk about this all the time, James, on NXT. Like, why the hell do they feel like they got to book people shitty just so they can build them up because the fans are like, what the hell are you doing with this person? And then they finally decide to build them up, and then they want to take the credit for the star they become, even though you guys went all the way around and booked them horrible to get us here. Like, I don't understand what we're doing. Like, even like with Melo missing SummerSlam again. And like, I don't understand. Jordan Grace, I don't even get TV time for some reason. Like, it's so many women at this point. Like, even Blake Monroe have to put out posts like, "Oh, can't rush greatness," and it's just like, no, 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 no. Can we at least get you on TV at all? Like, it ain't no can't rush greatness. Like, but they shouldn't have to do that. They should even Liv Morgan got to say slick stuff to explain why she hasn't even defended her damn title. Like, we got too many people who are just like doing nothing, and it's just weird. It's dumb, and like Julia, unfortunately, like why? This is the question that I ask, and I know I think we all kind of know why, but like why go out there and be? This is a very highly sought after woman. Julia was. She wanted to be here. Like you saw, everybody remember how happy and how cool she looked when she really wanted, like when she first got signed, and how like happy she seemed to be with coming to WWE. And this is how they treat her. Like, why do you do that when we know AEW, we know other places wanted Julia when her contract was up? Like, what's the point if you don't have any plans whatsoever? Or even if you don't, even let's say she's not the focus right now, you don't respect her enough to give her more than a 3-minute squash match? It's
Blake
crazy, man.
Monroe's last match was 100 days ago against Tatum Paxley in a
Oh,
casket
God.
match.
No, I
So
have to
she,
agree with
Exactly.
everything that Monty is saying, though. I was actually so excited to see these two ladies face off one on one, and just like Monty said, like I didn't know who I wanted to win because I felt like both women deserved to be in the ladder match in itself anyway. But this was also a great match. I thought we were going to get a chance to see them cook for a bit, and it was over before like I could even like sit down and enjoy a drink. It was so disappointing.
yeah, it really was. The night ended with the announced segment with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Before Rhodes could even do his signature pose on the stage, Punk's music hit. He walked right past Cody. They immediately got on the mic and started talking trash to each other. They talked about how long they'd known each other and how they've always been on the collision course. Punk put down his title and prepared for a fight. He dared Rhodes to hit him. The American Nightmare was happy to oblige. And what better way to end than in a brawl? Gina, I mean, we talked about Cody and Punk. I mean, what were your thoughts on WWE's build to SummerSlam? Because that's it. You know what I mean? We came out Night Champions and now we're up to date.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The most recent SmackDown has deflated me. The most recent SmackDowns and Raws have deflated me in terms of the women matches and the women's divisions because it just feels like no thoughts have really been put there. Um, Again, just to mimic what Monty and Jaxie said about the Julia and Lash match, I thought that was going to be a really well thought out, methodical match. From what I saw of Julia doing her submissions and trying to wear Lash down. I thought that's how this match is going to go. Julia's going to showcase all of her skills to wear Lash down, but it just felt disappointing. And then there's sort of the main just tag match for the women's tag titles. Well, it's not even for the women's tag titles, but it has the champions in, and then I don't know. I feel like it's just been showcased for one or two of the main matches, i.e. Roman and Seth and Cody and Punk. So the shows have mainly revolved around them on a week-to-week basis. You forget about the other matches until they speak about them. And yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel a little bit like we'll have to see how SummerSlam comes out to see and hope that the lack of build up in my eyes is worth it. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be a better show than what I feel the build up did for it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that. Well, like I said, SummerSlam starts at 11, so we're going to do predictions before that. But I am just hearing as well from inferior kickoff shows that it might be Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar that is the main event tonight. Jaxie, does that surprise you?
No, a lot. I heard this too. And if that's true, then I see CM Punk and Cody going first to start off the show. If they're not going to main event it, because it's Cody CM Punk night one, isn't it? And then Roman
Yeah.
and Seth is night two. So if it is true, and Brock and Obar are getting main event, then yeah, Cody and Punk are going first. And to be honest, I kind of don't mind that. I kind of don't mind that we're going to get like the main title in the opening match, and then like a big bout feud between two big men, like being like sort of like the Hell in a Cell. But it also makes sense because of like Hell in a Cell is big and beefy, and depending on the arena size or like the structure of it, I guess it might be much more difficult to be lowering something like Hell in a Cell and then lifting it again mid performance, like with mid sort of show. So maybe they want to just leave that so that it could then just get taken apart at the end. It might be a bit more easier that way as well. But this did come as a shock. I wasn't expecting it to potentially come out as the main event.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then we'll start off the prediction of SummerSlam night. Well, Monty, I'll come with you. And I guess, like Jack said, the opening match then will be the Undisputed WWE Championship, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Which way are you going in this one?
I feel bad for Cody because, like, with the Gunther stuff, like I think that match had to be like first or something. So like, Cody is like has not been able to actually look like the guy that I know we all believe he is supposed to be. He feels like the number two guy. But again, when you brought up the Hell in the Cell practicality of it, it actually makes a lot of sense if they just going off like what'll be simpler to deal with. Then yeah, I'm not mad at it. This was tough, man. Only way I see Cody winning is them pulling the trigger and Cody cheating, and I just don't know if Cody got it in them, especially if they go first. I don't think you. I mean, it would be a hell of a way to kick off the show if we just started and Cody dick kicks CM Punk. Like that'd be crazy, right? But that's just not really WWE's way to do things. Usually, is starting it off with a big twist like that and Cody dick kicking Punk. And maybe Punk can cheat to win, but like I don't know, even though Punk is so popular at this point, would that be a heel turn, or would we just be like, oh, that damn Punk, you gotta, you know what I mean? Would we would we really look at it that way? So I don't know. I do feel like this feud is gonna go on though, but I think right now because like I mentioned on the last time we talked about Cody being a little bit more interested on the chase. I think instead of throwing the belt right back on Cody and we kind of going back to where we were, it almost is more interesting to see what happens to Cody if he can't get this done. And what does he decide to do? Is that going to be what it takes to get him to change up who he is or whatever? I don't know. I just feel like every way I think about this match ending, I think Punk winning is the more compelling outcome. Some way, somehow, whether he cheats or whether he just beats him and survives. I don't know, but like especially if they start in the night, because I can see Cody cheating if they end in the night. But if they start in the night, I'm gonna go definitely with Punk winning. Now I know that was a rumor, but my gut just tells me like I'm like 75% Punk, so I'm gonna go with Punk. I'm very biased, but I'm gonna go with Punk.
Gina, what about you?
Yeah, I completely can understand where Monty is coming from. I also have gone for Punk. I think that Cody is better chasing the belt, and giving it straight back to him a couple of weeks after Punk has won it. I don't think is the way. I think they're going to probably continue this feud between these two, so it makes sense for Punk to retain.
Yeah, Jaxie.
Yeah, I've gone Punk to retain as well.
Yeah, I gone Punk, and also you think about SummerSlam last year. We beat Gunter, then got cashed in on, and he didn't have a great WrestleMania, so at least he can have a good start to a SummerSlam, I suppose. So I gone CM Punk with that. Up next, the Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Gina, why don't you start us off with this? Because again, we've not had a lot of build up to this matchup in a way.
No, we haven't. And this one's quite difficult. I'm struggling a lot. This is one of the ones that I have struggled with a lot. Just because, like you said, there's not really been a big build up apart from obviously the Queen of the Ring tournament, but it's not necessarily been centered around Liv's title per se. It's just been centered around who's going to get the chance to, go for one of the women's titles. So, um, it's been a difficult one to call, but I do feel I'm going to go with a risk, and I'm going to go for EO to win it. Liv hasn't really been um defending the belt, and maybe that's the reason Liv could potentially get the win here, but I just feel like Triple H loves EO, and EO would be on the show a weekly basis defending it. I don't know. I think I'm more just hoping that EO gets it, but I'm going to go with EO for the win here. I don't really want to think of her going through the Queen of the Ring tournament, becoming the Queen of the Ring to not win the belt here, so I've gone with EO.
Jaxie?
Yeah, Straight up, I think Triple EO is Triple H's girl. So I've got EO for the win.
Monty.
Oh man, Liv ain't defended this belt, nothing. This is literally her first title defense. And I know that seems crazy because she had the belt, she's had the belt a little while now. So it's really hard to just like go against her, man, in this situation for me. And especially with Raquel having that belt is like, it's like it makes me feel like they're probably gonna throw the belt that way. But at the same time, maybe you can do something intriguing with her losing the belt and then Raquel being a champion, and like maybe you can have some dynamics there for Judgment Day. I don't know. I feel like we're waiting on Stephanie, and it's like even when you're waiting on Stephanie to come back, and I feel like Stephanie might be back sooner than we think. Yes, you can do something with Liv, but you also can make. I mean, I know I pay money for EO and Stephanie, so it's tough. And she won Queen of the Ring, so I'm gonna go with the safe bet, and I'm gonna go with Liv. I mean, I'm gonna go with EO winning. I'm gonna take it safe just because like she did win Queen of the Ring, and to
We
me it
could
just
also
makes sense.
I wonder if we could potentially see like Roxanne just have enough of Liv, maybe, and this like be the down start of the downfall of it. You know, like with Raquel picking up gold and then maybe Liv losing it. Like this could be like maybe the
Yeah,
start of Liv getting kicked out Judgment Day. Who knows? I don't know.
I'm hampered by bad booking though. So if we get it wrong, I'm just gonna blame Triple H for booking them so horribly while Stephanie's
It's
hurt.
always to
Like that's
blame.
really my thought process. Like it's always fucking Triple H fault. So
It is.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, and I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, when Danhausen reminded Liv Morgan that she is still cursed, and I believe in that curse. Goddamn, I don't watch this program not to get anything back from it, so I'm surely that's something I'm picking up on. So yeah, I'll go EO as well.
mm,
Live still cursed, fucker. Um, up next, Gunter versus Nick Aldis. Jaxie, what you thinking?
All right. This has been good for Nick, and I'm so glad he's coming back. But Nick is not winning this. Um, as sad as that is to say, because this is one of those like redemption stories where you want Nick to come back and then you want him to like beat the bully and this, that, and the other. No, I think Nick is potentially gonna get his ass kicked in this a bit too much, maybe. But Gunther's winning this.
Yeah, Monty.
yeah, I mean, you don't have a man retire, John Cena and do all the things that we know Gunther has done for someone that, although I know him as a great wrestler and you know him as a great wrestler too, James. You've mentioned it a couple of times. Is going to be some people who are going to be even shocked that Nick Aldis looked that good out of a suit, one, and two, can wrestle that well. And I think it's going to be hard for me to believe that WWE will book someone who is so successful in basically building who he is outside of WWE to come in and just beat somebody like Gunther, who rarely loses in general. So, yeah, I'm going with Gunther. It don't really make sense for Nick. Maybe if they continue this and comes out and just actually become like a wrestler, more of a wrestler, and they do more, I can see Nick winning a rematch maybe. But this first encounter with Nick fresh out of the suit, I see him fighting hard and possibly like passing out in the choke or something.
Yeah, I would agree, Gina.
Yeah, I've gone with Gunther.
Yeah, I don't think that's an argument. I think the next one's a little bit more difficult. The Usos, Jacob Fatu, Royce Keys versus the Usos, Jacob Fatu, Jacob Fatu versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, Solo Takora. Difficult for me to fucking say. Monty, which way are you going?
Uh, Honestly, I'm going whichever one ends this. Whoever wins that ends this feud for LA Knight is really the way I want to go. Because like I said it earlier, I don't really know what the stakes are for this at all. I don't know. The bloodline is obviously still the money maker storyline. and like Jacob is there, and Jacob is the wild card for me because I think WWE has showcased that they don't mind letting Jimmy lose, they don't mind even letting Jay lose at this point. And like they booked LA Knight so horribly, he's also a viable person to get pinned too. So it's like it's tough, and Solo too has that history of also being able to lose this. But I honestly think Solo's so hot right now. You probably need to protect Solo. I don't either he be the one to turn with his brothers, or Solo is just won't get pinned because I just think right now he's a little bit hot. But it's hard for me to see. Like I said, if you think the babyface is winning in this, then I ain't mad that you going that route because that's fine. But if you but I also can see Jacob Fatu carrying the bloodline to a victory, and LA Knight, at least LA Knight's part in this feud possibly was over. They might not be done with Solo, but I don't think I think his LA Knight can finally go do something else, win or lose, to be honest. But I'm gonna go with the bloodline because it's hard for me to pick against Jacob, but if you do go against that, I ain't mad at you because it really can. Whichever one ends it, I'm happy with it, guys.
Gina.
Yeah, do you know that's a really interesting take of Monty to give. I actually have kind of gone the opposite because I don't know, I'm just loving Solo and his wit at the moment, and I think that needs to be protected at all costs. So I've gone, can LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo please get this win, and LA Knight finally be done with his beef with the bloodline? Please, just end it. And yeah, so I'm actually going to risk it, and I've gone LA Knight, Keys, and Solo.
Nice. Jaxie.
I too have actually gone LA Knight, Solo, and Keys. I kind of saw this like Keys and Fatu were just gonna be too preoccupied, like probably bashing it out. I kind of sadly see Jimmy maybe eating a pin here, but I thought that this would actually look better for like, especially as like Monty said, if they're not joining Solo back up with the bloodline, then like you should be pushing him this way that he's marketing himself right now, and it's just going to lose all momentum having him like lose this trios match. So I thought that like Solo could potentially pick up a win, maybe even on either Jacob or Jay, but probably going to be Jimmy eating a pin here if we do go that way. But yeah, that's how I was looking at it.
Written down, it's actually Solo Larkeys, which is it's quite a nice name, really, if you think about it. Solo Larkeys. But anyway, anyway, I should really stop drinking. Yeah, I'm going to go Bloodline in this one, just because I thought Solo was going to turn, but I think it might be Royce Keys because Royce Keys would be a perfect guy, stand in the back looking tough, and maybe a little bit surprised because I think, like I said, if we're not going to get a total change, well, we're not going to get
Ooh, that's
WWE title
underrated.
change,
Mhm.
then so I might
That's a good
because
point.
again, Solo and LA Knight can just carry on, cussing down the bloodline, whatever they do, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've got to go. And plus, Jacob for the Usos, man, it's like this is what WWE do. The bloodline's theirs,
Yep.
isn't it? So, yeah, I'm going to go Bloodline there. Up next, another six woman tag match this time. Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lani Reed, who are on the SummerSlam card, everybody, versus the Bellas and Paige. Gina, what about you? What do you think?
Um, Okay, so because like Fatal Influence actually have the belts, and with Nikki's return, it is hard for me to go against the Bellas and Paige getting the win here. So I've gone with the Bellas and Paige to get the win. The belts aren't on the line, so I feel like it's fine for Fatal Influence to take the L here because they'll still have their belts. But with Nikki coming back, I do feel like it more pans in their favor to get the win.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Jaxie?
Yeah, I've gone the Bellas and Paige to win. Like again, they really will be setting up an instant tag match between the Bellas and Fatal Influence, I'm sure, at some point. So this probably would solidify them going for the belts if they pick up a win here in the trios match. So I've gone them for the win.
Monty?
I answer this with a question. What does WWE do best? Give big victories and big moments to young stars, or you know congratulate and glorify, the nostalgia of the last decade or so. Yeah, I think we all know the answer to that. So I'm going with the Bellator's page. I mean, it's just what WWE does. They're not going to give fatal influence this victory. You know, I'm not gonna say they deserve it, but I'm just saying they rarely will give the team in this, or the lesser known team, to casual people, that victory. Because the only reason why I think this match is on this card, because of the name value that the Bella Twins and Paige possess.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's gonna fuck me, but I can't do it. I can't, even with Paige and everything like that. I'm gonna go fatal influence because they win stuff, and I don't know how they do it. They are champions. It'll probably be like a 5 minute match and they'll lose. But my hope in this one
Okay,
is that Paige gets pinned and then the Bellas take out the frustration on her after the matchup.
he's
But
back at JCJ.
I know, man. I mean, fucking hell. And this is funny as well, because people say, "Oh, well, predictions and that," and it's like, "Oh, don't you just copy anybody?" It's like, no, I've got mine written. And yeah, that's how bad I am. I stick with them. I wish I would change up, but unfortunately, I cannot. The What we think's the main event: Hell in a Cell, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Jaxie, I think this is one of the easiest predictions of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going over Femi for the win, of course. And like, do you know what? I really need this match to go hard, but the way I want this ending is like not even a pin. Like, I want Oba beating Brock so bad he can't get up, and Oba just walking out of that Hell in a Cell, looking over his shoulder like, I'm done with you, chapter over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think we will agree, Monty.
Yeah. Like you said, easy peasy. Brock Lesnar wins this. Do you know how many? I better see the hashtag. I remember when I forgot why, but you remember like WWE Network, James? They were like hashtag cancel WWE Network. When I forgot, I think it was when Roman won the Royal Rumble or something one
Yeah,
time, and they were
2015, I
like,
think.
let's cancel the WWE Network. I better see petitions and people saying, "Elf, we done with WWE." If Brock Lesnar win this damn match, because there's just such a stupid decision. Everybody knows it. This is Oba's moment, man. This is all done to build him up, and this is probably, in my opinion, Brock, or at least in my opinion, should be his true last match. Is in Minnesota, where he's from. I don't know if he's gonna leave his stuff in the ring again. I think he kind of lost the power of doing that, because he already did it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think this will be his last match, and what a way to go out. Because I will say this: this is my last thing. I know I definitely say Oba's winning, but I do gotta give that bastard Brock some props, because he do seem to like Oba Femi to the point to where I've seen him have more emotion in his promos, put more effort into this little feud. Maybe it's because he know it might most likely is his last thing he does. I've seen him put more effort in this than he did to putting over a lot of other people that they tried to ask Brock to put over. So I'm at least thankful that he seriously tried his best to get over. And the only way he's completely gonna be over is if he go ahead and put the beats down for good. So yeah, Oba
Yeah.
has the win.
Gina.
Yeah, I don't think I can say much else that doesn't do this justice, but obviously we're going for the King Oba to win.
Yeah. All I say, Brock, is get your stuff and fuck off. All right. I don't want you coming back for WrestleMania. Let's just be done with you. All right. SummerSlam Night 2 card. This is interesting. I don't know what to start with, really. Start with an easy one. Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio, then Human Money's on a pole match. I can't believe, Monty, this is happening. This is all your fault with Danhausen. That he's ruining it. It's overexposure, man.
First of all, this is even as a Stanhausen, I'm not taking credit for nothing. I'm not one of the people who bought all the merch. I blame the people who bought all the merch, because TKO saw that. And now, did you see this, James? They said they want him on every show. Like they're trying to
I know.
make a mandate to put
He
Danhausen
shows that he's in
on Raw
NXT.
and
Yeah, I was like,
I'm
what?
saying. He's on NXT now. I'm like, so basically, Danhausen is literally on every show. And again, as somebody who I will take the blame if you want to blame me, because I still appreciate the gimmick and I love all the goofiness about it. But in typical, I also maintain that I did mention this, guys. Once he sold that merch at WrestleMania, that once they said he was second behind only, like, I think Cody or something, or whoever it was, Punk in merch. After WrestleMania, I said, watch WWE over the next 6 months. Here we are at SummerSlam. Watch them run him into the ground, and they have definitely done everything they could to kind of like you said, overexpose, put him in all
Hold
types of
my
situations.
beer. Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like they are literally going to the maximum. So yes, he gonna be dumb. It's gonna be curses. It's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be silly. It's gonna be some interference. I'm sure JD is probably gonna look like a damn fool because he always looks like a damn fool in the end.
Yeah.
I'm sure something ridiculous is gonna happen, but I don't see Dom surviving this. Which, by the way, man, ever since WrestleMania, how the fuck do y'all screw up Dom like I feel like they have? But whatever.
Yeah. It's fucking terrible. Gina?
Danhausen.
I love it. Jaxie?
Yeah, Danhausen.
Yeah, can't go against that. All right, Intercontinental Championship, Penta versus Chad Gable. Gina, this should be an excellent matchup. There's no doubt. We have mentioned that.
This is going to be an awesome match. I mean, it will surprise me if people are not entertained by this match. I think it'll be really great to see Penta versus Chad Gable. They'll both give it their all. Chad Gable's kind of on this like redemption arc for himself. Penta's on a really good winning streak, especially with the belt that he's had, the run he's had with the belt so far. Um, I don't think that Penta's done anything wrong, but I do feel with the redemption that Chad is trying to get himself on, I think getting a win here would really elevate that. So, and I think Penta's had a really good run with the belt that it won't hurt him to possibly lose the belt here. So for a title change, I do feel like Chad Gable will get the win here. I'm gonna go with Chad.
Yeah, great shout. Jaxie?
Yeah, I have to agree with my sister on this. I've also gone Chad Gable. But this could
Um,
actually be a potential like match of the night if those two are just given time to just go hard.
yeah, and again, like we said, Monty, they've hit home the fact that they're in his home state. Do you know what I mean? So they can't, he's never won a championship before. So they might WWE us, but I think it might be time. And like I said, Penta's had a great run.
Yeah, I don't think anybody deserves this moment more, really, if you really think about everything he's been through, because it's actually ridiculous that he hasn't won a singles belt yet. If you really think about how good Chad has been for how long he's been good. And the man was called Shorty G, man. He went through Shorty G. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, Chad has been
Gosh,
deserving of this.
yeah.
He has been deserving of this moment, and the only way I see him not winning is if WWE had some unpredictability, had some balls to turn Penta heel because Penta is a great heel. But I think Penta's selling a lot of match. Like you said, he had a great run. I don't even think you need to do that. Just let them go out there, wrestle their asses off for a good 15, 20 minutes, and let Chad get his moment. And I don't think anybody would be opposed to that at all. I'm definitely going with Chad. It's just set up perfectly for him.
Yeah, they need to
Yeah,
let them cook.
yeah, perfect. Up next, US title, Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin. Jaxie, which way do you see this going?
Again, this is another one that's just really quickly put together. I really don't believe that Baron Corbin can actually take the title off of Trick coming back so quickly. Don't get me wrong, we've seen this sort of thing actually happen. We have, but the and I'm sorry to say it like this, but the likes of Baron Corbin coming in, taking the belt off of someone so hot like Trick right now is not believable in my eyes. So I see Trick retaining.
Yeah, Trick. Monty?
Yeah, I couldn't really put it better than that, other than like my thought process is somebody I like bum ass Baron Corbin. I liked him. I even liked what he was doing before they fired him. I thought it was a mistake when you remember he was doing great tag team work with Braun Breaker, if you remember, James, before they
Hmm.
let him go that last time. So I don't hate Baron Corbin. I just think, like you said, like mentioned earlier, him coming in and taking the belt off Trick Williams is insane. And even though I can see, maybe especially when Vince was booking, I can see a finish where Trick Williams get caught in the end of the days and he just loses, and we just all annoyed as hell by that. But I will refuse to predict it because there's no damn way that y'all have Carmelo Hayes back there not had a perfect match you could have made. Y'all skip over him for Baron Corbin and let Baron Corbin take the belt off Trick Williams. No, 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 no. I'm not letting that stand, James. There's no way because they already have a couple great U.S. title matches with Trick and Ilya possibly and Trick and Carmelo that they still really can go into at the right place in my opinion that they still have yet to do. And I just don't think you got that type of interest level when you try to book a Baron Corbin title reign. I think that's just booked to annoy me at this point. So yeah, Trick Williams has to win. They gave him the fur belt. That belt looked like shit on Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Gina.
Yeah, I've gone Trick to retain.
Yeah. Can I just put you don't do a customized belt and then have them lose fucking 2 or 3 weeks later. All right. Like you said,
Especially not with fluff.
Corbin's not running around with a fluffy title unless he puts it on his head.
Right. He's gonna look crazy.
You know what I mean?
He'll have it transferred to a wig.
Yeah, it's not happening. Good. Trick wins. Undisputed WWE number one contendership match: Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. Monty, what are you thinking in this one?
I don't know, man. This is actually tougher than it looks because I want Finn to get his moment again, but since I booked Punk and we know Finn and Punk have history, but Finn lost that already. So I don't necessarily see him going that route. So part of me feel like that to show Sammy some love after being the champion just for 9 days, it probably make the most sense for Sammy to find a way. Maybe he'll get some help, maybe he cheats, but I don't know. I think the last good guy. It's just hard for me to believe that he loses here, even if I wouldn't mind Finn winning. And if Finn does win, I'm not gonna be mad because I do think it's more frustration for Sammy to kind of put into like the character that he's becoming. But I don't know. I just don't see Finn. I just don't. Part of me don't want Finn to win this now and then have to lose to Punk immediately or lose to Cody or if Cody wins immediately too. I don't know. I want Finn to actually be in a situation where he has a chance to actually get his moment too because I think we all agree that Finn deserves it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But I'm gonna go with Sammy to actually do this and get like a prepared title shot to lose to Punk.
Yeah. Gina, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm gonna just take a risk here and go with Finn. I think they're gonna try and put somebody in between, the next big serious matchup, and I think for Punk maybe, and then so they'll do Finn versus Punk, and then they can circle back around to Cody when they're ready to introduce him back to it. So I'm actually gonna go Finn.
You're gonna go Finn, Jax?
I too have gone Finn.
Oh, you've gone Finn as well. Yeah, this is the thing because I think Monty's right with the fact that Sami Zayn deserves the win. But I'm a sucker for history, and I can remember what was one of Triple H's worst moments. It was in 2016, wasn't it, with Balor and Seth, and Balor getting injured there. So are we waiting for a decade later for Finn to finally have his moment at a SummerSlam? So I'm going to go Finn, even though I'm probably wrong.
We've got to stick with it, James. We've got to stick with it.
We've got to go with it. Fuck it. And then we've got the interim WWE Women's Championship ladder match: Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton versus a mystery opponent. Now, there's two things I'm going to ask you here. Gina, I'll start with you. I want to know who your mystery opponent's going to be, and obviously your prediction for the match, because the winner might be who your mystery opponent is. If that makes sense.
Just whoever won last
Lash
Julia.
versus Julia.
Oh, you're joking. There's not another mystery opponent.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
just
think it was
whoever
I'm
won
sure
out
there's
of
another
that.
mystery opponent.
No.
Oh,
No,
God
I think
damn
it's
it.
Lash. I think Lash took that spot.
Yeah, I think
God
it was just
damn it, Lash
because
Legend.
of it was last night. They still were calling it a mystery person.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me have a look. You motherfucker. Well, that's fucked me up then, isn't it? Right, I'm going to change my prediction. That's fine. Right, so fuck the mystery then, because it's Lash Legend.
Keen to know who you thought was going to be returning in this match.
Yeah, who was the mystery? for you?
Hey, guys, no, it's not my fault. All right, I didn't
Tell
know.
us. We
Like,
want to know.
no, you just laugh at me. I'm not having it. I'm not having you guys laughing. All right.
No, come on, tell us, please.
Well, no, I thought if it's mystery, maybe Stephanie Vaquer could come back and win the title. You see,
Oh,
and
that
Gotcha.
would have been sick. Why are
Okay.
we gonna laugh at you for that? That would have been sick.
That would have
We
been a good
wouldn't have
idea.
laughed. That makes sense. Would have made
yes, but
sense.
again, that she'll show up on the Raw match or something like that. All
Yeah.
right, so fucking Lash Legend in bollocks. All right, Gina, who you going for?
Do you know what? I really could not call this match as well because of just like so many ladies are in this. I have a feeling they might want to go for the favorite Charlotte Flair, but do you know what? I am actually going to go with Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green should just get this win all over all these women. She's just become like besties with Tiffany Stratton as well. Wouldn't it be funny if Tiffany decides to take a heel turn and turn on that new friendship that she had because she's done this before? So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go Chelsea, please. Fuck it, pull off the win and get the win here.
That's a great shout, Jaxie.
Oh, this was tough for me as well. I'm gonna go Chelsea Green because I feel like that's a safe choice, and I really don't know which way I was gonna go. Originally, I was thinking Jade, but I feel like Jade and Charlotte don't need the belt in between this feud that they still got going at the moment. So I'm gonna go Chelsea Green. But if it had been Julia in the match, I would have gone Julia to win.
Yeah, Monty.
Yeah, I do think it'll be. I think that'll be a nice, unpredictable manner because the interim language means they're probably gonna run into Rhea again, and Chelsea ain't beating Rhea, and we know that. And usually in interim matches, especially in wrestling, we don't. It's no in this particular case because we know it was an injury. Rhea is probably gonna beat whoever becomes the interim champion anyway. In my opinion, when they finally do meet up, I could be wrong, but I do think you can build an interesting like babyface story. Like nobody believes in Chelsea, and she still finds a way to. She gonna probably lose the Rhea, but maybe you can be interesting. But I do think that's a little bit too risky for the way WWE like to book stuff. I wouldn't be opposed to it, even though I'd be kind of surprised, but I wouldn't be opposed to the move. I'm going with Charlotte Flair. I just think it's just easier to do. She's trusted. I know how WWE tends to do these things. She hasn't been world champion since she's returned. It's been a long time, and I thought personally, even though they were like on the same side, like against Jade. I thought we were going playing a long game to get to Rhea and Charlotte versus each other anyway. So I think maybe what a simpler way to set that up than this. But hey, I could be wrong, and I want to me this whole time it's just like it's gonna be Jade or Charlotte, and I just for some reason, as much as I would love them to, I don't think they'll go back to Jade. So yeah, I'm gonna just play it safe and go with the Queen. But if it's Chelsea Green, would I really be mad about it? Nah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great shout. I'll go Chelsea Green as well, just because. Yeah, I think it'd be good. But again, Charlotte winning and then facing Rhea Ripley would kind of make sense with Cargill getting involved. But will Cargill cancel out Charlotte tonight? But it definitely won't be Tiffany Stratton, will it? So I think we can we can all agree there. And then the main event of SummerSlam, the World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns versus Seth frickin' Rollins. Jaxie, which way is it going to go?
Yeah, this one was a hard one to call as well, but ultimately, I see Roman retaining this. I'm not. Uh, I don't think that we're not going to see the bloodline turn up throughout this match. But I also know that Seth has burnt too many bridges with too many people, so I don't really see anyone coming out for them. Not even the Street Profits. Why would they? He helped them out once, like, and they made it very obvious they weren't really like friendly with him. So yeah, I'm gonna go maybe a safe bet here, but I still think Roman's probably gonna hold on to that belt potentially until Obafemi comes to just take it off him.
Yeah, I think that's true. Monty?
Yeah, Roman wins, but I predict it's gonna be similar to his Punk victory, where there's no interference. He's gonna beat because I think if he gets help, unfortunately that leaves grounds for Self to come back and say you can't do anything on your own. And I want them to actually just be done with this whole Shield breakup feud. So I think the only way we can get some finality is if Roman finally beats him, get that over with, and he beats him straight up, like one on one. He proves he's better than him in a one on one match, in a great match, and Who knows? They might even shake hands, and we'll never have to do the Shield shit again.
Yeah. Unless Moxley shows up, I suppose. Who knows? Gina?
Yeah, Roman's gonna retain for me.
I think it's Roman all round there. So that is it. That is all the predictions. I guess everybody's happy with them. We can't change them now, by the way. Yes, everybody's fine.
Okay, bet.
So that is it. SummerSlam is it's nearly 35 minutes away now. Eh? Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? But don't forget you can follow us across all social media. X at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR Pod. James, you can find the entire WNR team on the banner. Jaxie, where can people find and follow you?
I'm across X and Twitch at Jaxie Scarlett.
Monty
And mine, Muncie Pod.
and Gina.
And your angel is at Purple Pain.
WNR also on Facebook and Instagram. Send us an email at WNRpodcast@gmail.com and YouTube. WNR Podcast, so we're celebrating 11 years of the WNR with shorts, universe mode, and clips of any event we go to. The podcast is also live on YouTube, also on SoundCloud on your phone, also Spotify and iTunes, where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Our next episode will be next weekend with the SummerSlam review. But until then, I've been James Rollins and was joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. And Jaxie, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I hope you don't win tonight, all right?
No, James, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I hope you don't win tonight.
I
Enjoy
really
SmackDown, everyone.
Oh, it's going to be great, isn't it? Oh, we're going to have so much fun. And of course, the mind of Monty. And again, Monty, I think that Charlotte one. I think that's the one that's going to do it. But hey, who knows? Who knows, you know?
We'll see. We'll see. We might have the most annoying world interim champion in the world. Because I'm not saying she's annoying to me, but her character is annoying. Chelsea Green. Who knows? We'll see. But what I will say also, last thing, I know we all WWE'd out and we've been talking about SummerSlam. We'll talk about it again next week. If you like New Japan, you like G1, go watch Yuto Ice versus Yoda Tsuji. They beat the shit out of each other. I think they chopped each other like 500 times. I'm serious. Like,
Is
Yuto
that the
Ice
marks
chest
on
was
his,
like
his chest,
red.
wasn't it? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
his whole pick looked like Cody Rhodes' pick when he tore it, and that was all from chops. So please, Yuto Ice and Yoda Tsuji, special G1 match. So if you like New
Yeah,
Japan,
because
check it out.
we've started this, so we're just kind of catching up as and when we've got the time. But I can't wait to get to that if that's the case.
Oh, it's fantastic. Trust me, they beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah. Jack said, we're trying to wrap up. All right. So, you know what I mean? I just want to kind of get the show on. No, it's fine. We could talk all day, but we have got SummerSlam coming up in a minute, you know? Awkward. And of course, the genius of Gina. And Gina, you do know you are my angel. You're not Monty's, you're my angel.
I'm everybody's angel.
You
we're
are
all-
really,
Thank you.
but you're
Thank you,
mine.
Gina.
But you're mine.
Thank you.
No, Monty. No, you're my
She's
angel.
ours.
No.
Listen,
I
guys,
will-
we
I
all
will
just need to go
virtually
into
fight you.
tonight praying for King Oba. Okay, that's all I need. Pray for King
Yes.
Oba.
Yeah.
Be
Well,
quiet. You heard
is
your angel talking.
that is it. Thanks for listening, everybody. And don't